so far.
Yo, check this out. Yo, snap what happened to Black Ops. Support Tornadoes, please YouTube channel Beyond the Bridge.
Three, two, one. One, two, one, two.
De-escalate officer control encounter.
So sorry. It's so loud in here, and I think that people really need to hear this. So can we please be quiet just a little bit and have some respect? It's pretty big. Thank you.
That's my bodyguard, Edward Jones. Edward Jones.
What are we doing?
Override.
Look at that! He's so cute! Gracias! Dude, this is amazing. This is pretty cool. Igual.
I'm a whirling dervish. I always twirl on purpose.
I'm so surface level, don't you look behind the curtains. I'm nervous like I'm Nelly. Kelly's so evil, he not a person. What would a good one consist of? I'm probably not as perfect. It's probably not in my bloodline. My faith lies as far as my fathers allow, but truth I control where I land. I choose to be an island. I choose to pick up my plans till they all seem folly, but I guess I change that present to the past tense. Like Paps was a bastard, flabbergasted. Pap has a running pattern, polish splattered, nothing matters. Turned out love an ugly dancer. I am generation violence, part of the nation. Not hiding from it all till it all become blinding. Fly across the sky till the blue turn violent. Mock the passage of the days all ever I'm in. Don't feel free to chime in, rather keep you tuned out. Stick with flat drink sip instead of fizzled out routes. I don't need to go your way. You stand and make that face. Life is made of serious work. I don't need to go your way. You stand and make that face. Life is made of serious work. This might be a bowl of self-belief. No need for boating schools to tell me peace is found. I find my own ground, crashing my own reef. No beef, all beef. Nah, that bang bang, ski ski. You show the counts down. Clown caught up in his own heat. It's a lesson where you learn to shut the demons out. Nah, I'm kidding. You ain't no demon. You my homie, but I'm tweaking, bro. When you mix this and think you got business talking about my track, shut up, bitch. Sorry. I guess I went too far with that one. Guess it's easy to blame the homie for my shortcomings. Should have working for different outcomes. It's all love, but it need to be self-love. Need to do this for me, not for anyone else,
No,
but
but when he starts
not for
to-
your approval
yeah.
or the words of the rest of, but to feel peace when I walk in the rest.
Guy, fall
It
forward.
should be mine. Now I know it's mine alone.
Like this, and then they started leaning forward.
I don't need to go your way. You stand and make that face. Life is made of serious work.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't need to go your way. You stand and make that face. Life is made of serious work.
Sit down, sit down.
Other hand. That one. That hand. Hey, come here.
What about?
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Nonito Donaire.
Could this be tonight?
Hey guys, good
Hey,
morning.
what's up? Good morning. Good Monday
Happy
morning.
Monday.
Happy Monday.
Oh, it was a rough Monday this morning. Oh, you guys are starting with this
Oh,
already?
man. Jackie.
Y'all, hold on.
Oh,
Calm down.
hold on. Okay, it's early in the morning. I got my coffee. I'm ready
Are
to
you
go.
sure you got your coffee?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Always great, Jackie, to see you here, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for always giving the love, man. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great Monday.
Yes, it was such a long, I felt like that was such a long weekend because like the conversations never stopped. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, because it was from the previous before the weekend, the fight week, and then the weigh-ins and all that stuff. It was always having that conversation about what we think will happen and all of that stuff. And Nostradamus didn't really do too well in
No,
in
and we are going to
predicting.
talk about your predictions and what did come true and what didn't. And what the expectations. So the topic of today is if Tank Boots, Rashidi,
Andrade and Ellis.
yeah, if the A team failed our expectations. I think there's a lot of talk right now of a lot of people saying, hey, this guy looked like crap. This guy didn't show up. This guy was losing on the cards and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to go down the list. But we do want to shout out to everybody that's here in the chats. Shout out to Fanon
Yes.
for plugging us in, and getting us to go live in the morning. Because I will tell you, I'm not a morning person. All the
Nope.
things that I've been editing when I do my uploads are at night. It's like
Well,
dead
that's
at
where your
night.
creative juice is all about. Like for you, you're not. I'm a morning person because I'm so used to waking up in the morning and doing all my morning runs and all of that stuff. But for you, you're a night person. All your creativity comes out at night. So
Yeah, and I think that's
you
what
know.
keeps me up. I've been trying to go to bed early. I have been trying, and for the most part, I've been going to bed early.
Yeah.
Except that was not my fault. That was, that was the card's fault. I mean, geez, like what time were you guys watching it? Because I think some of you guys are East Coast, so Tank was like at 1 a.m., right? And some of you guys were in Central, which was 12. So for us, it was 11 by that time. Then the kids were winding down.
For someone who was a military in the Air Force, you're not a morning person. Don't they wake you up really, really in the morning?
Yes.
Early in the morning?
Yes. With the horn.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah, not fun. But that thing's blaring. Like you have no choice. There is no like, let me take my time. You literally, when that horn goes off, you might have 15 minutes.
So it ain't. Let's
maybe
take it nice and
30
slow.
No, it's not. It's not like, oh, babe, wake up.
Yeah, it's
No.
not. It's 7 o'clock on the dot.
First of all, that's a nighttime song.
I'm just saying.
No.
No, this is gonna be a great morning. A great recap.
No Smoke TV said, "Wake up, maggots."
Yeah. Wake up, maggots. Yeah.
Come on, I was in the Air Force, so yeah. So there's a couple people that are saying that their expectations were matched. There are a couple people that are talking about Boots, but we're gonna go through the entire card, okay, you guys? We're totally gonna go through the entire card that we had put together. Not we had put together, but what's on the screen. And we're gonna start with Demetrius Andrade. So before I get into that, I gotta pull up my notes.
Well, Demetrius Andrade, when I said in predicting that he was gonna go out there to showcase his capability, in the first I would say 10 seconds, he came out there hard, and then all of a sudden he just kind of fizzled out, or try to figure out what the other guy was doing, and a lot of people would say that, oh, because of the surgery, oh,
The layoff.
because of the layoff, this and
Mhm.
this and that. You cannot be great if that is one of your excuses in your mind. Not saying that he had that excuse, just saying that what people are saying in terms of why he didn't perform the way people expect him to perform.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like for me, I figured that if he wanted to showcase, and maybe perhaps when I was predicting something, or Nonito Damas was expecting something, was that, you know it's like me fighting in there. You know what I'm saying? Like if I look at myself and have something to prove, I'm gonna go out there and just go all out,
Well,
right?
I think that's what he did, right? I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, Nicholson, on the telecast, they were calling it. They were saying that he possibly was Chinny, right? Oh, hey smoke. Um, and they were talking about that this is a brand new weight for Andre, and I think
Yes.
some people were, they think that that's not a big thing. Talk to us about moving up in weight and how that adjustment period works.
Well, for the little guys, it's a big difference, right? But for the bigger guys, it's not too outrageous or too overwhelming. I know these guys are bigger guys, and they come out there and still cut the weight. Like for the little guys, for me, moving up from 115, 118, going up to 126 was a very big jump for me.
Mhm.
But I still went out there. But moving up does create some type of disadvantage, physically. At least the other guy is bigger, but at the same time, you're more pressure when it comes down to it. So there's always a pros and cons to moving up,
So
and
you're
and
saying
dropping
because you
down in
don't
weight.
have to cut weight,
Well,
is
you don't
what you're
have to cut
saying?
weight too much, so you won't be drained in terms of being, your stamina being lower than in sparring time. Like in sparring time, you're going in there and you can go 12 rounds like nothing, and at the same time, um, you have that energy. But
Mhm.
in the fight, you're cutting down weight. You don't recover in 24 hours, and that's I think that's the problem that people don't understand, or that's something that people don't understand, is that when you're cutting weight, regardless if you're the bigger guy, yes, you have the advantage in size, but when you cut weight, you are at a disadvantage when it comes down to stamina and longevity, or you know what I'm saying, in the rounds.
Well, you've had surgery on your shoulder as well.
I did, yes,
Yours was
on the left
the
side.
left. Okay, Andrade was his right shoulder. Do you feel like that plus the inactivity was something, or do you feel like it's
I
always
mean, I
good
don't
to
really
rehab your
make
shoulder?
any excuses when it comes down to it. Like, say, for instance, when I fought Obali, after the Inoue fight, the first one, um, it was almost 2 years for me.
Mhm.
And when I had the surgery after, I mean, I was still fighting and all that stuff. Like, I don't know, 6 months after that, right?
Yeah.
So, and in the fight, he threw that overhand numerous times. He
Well,
threw
I
it.
think that was one of his opening punches. Remember you
Yeah,
remember you
he
said,
threw he
or
threw in, right, the
Nonito
first.
Damo
Yeah,
said that he was coming out with something to prove.
yeah, and he came out there the first 10 seconds. He threw that overhand, or the hook, the overhand hook, because he's southpaw. That's right. So he did throw a lot of the hooks too. Is he southpaw? Yeah, he is southpaw. So yeah, he did, and he threw that overhand and then the hook as well. So he used it. He used it. So it's not so much as it bothered him. I think it's just sometimes a fighter, when he thinks that he has ring rust, or all this other stuff, whatever you have in your mind, that affects you mentally going into the fight.
Mhm.
And I think if he was thinking that, oh, I got ring rust, guess what, you're gonna have ring rust.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He never really said it. It was a lot of people, that were saying it for him. Of course, we're always putting our expectation and perception out on these
Of course,
boxers.
we're that's what
But
being human is. We go out there and we put our thoughts, we put our expectation, and we put our opinion,
Mhm.
regardless if that person is completely different from it, right?
Shelton, we're not on boots yet. Calm down.
Yeah,
Shelton,
Shelton.
Shelton's so itchy about boots. Calm down.
Yes.
We're still on Andre.
So
Yeah, calm
so
down.
for Andre, I think that with him coming into this fight, he wanted to prove something, go into this division. But unfortunately, Nicholson didn't want to have that. He went and fought. And I thought there was a time in the fight in the middle rounds where Nicholson was kind of mentally broken down, until he started to I think he dropped Andre that wasn't counted in the
Yes.
body shot that kind of gave him a little bit of momentum. And I think, and again, it's this little thing that brings about the change in the people's mind. Just a little glimpse of light brings about their tenacity.
Well, I think also the reason why Andre was like that he came out so strong was that he wanted Nicholson to know, like, hey, I didn't come here to play. You know what I mean? Coming out like that, like hopefully landing a big shot was like him saying, hey, I got powered. Like, don't think that just because I'm moving up,
Right.
that you can run me over. So I
Right.
think that was him
I mean,
demanding.
Sheldon says, Boo Boo looked good, so in his opinion, and Andre looked good, and he won the fight. I think it was just an expectation that came from a lot of what he has wanted to do, in speaking out that he wanted to fight the big fights out there. Is he ready from the way he looked on that fight to be fighting the top guys is the question. And I think that's something that are the expectation in Andre. I mean, he did look good. He won the fight. He won the fight. For some of us like myself, I'm looking at it as, again, no disrespect to the fighter because they're amazing, but I think just putting him in that position of fighting the best fighter, was it enough to showcase what he showcased in that fight Saturday?
Well, I do feel like, oh, okay, this was on my notes. Do you remember in the second round where the referee took 10 seconds of the first part of the round? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, and
Do
he
you
was
remember? You were
talking.
like,
Yeah, he
"Why
was
is he
talking like,
talking?
bro.
Stop the time.
Yeah,
Shut up."
yeah. So he was talking, and you can see the clock going because he was the bell ring, and he wanted to talk to the guys. And by the time they started fighting, it was 10 seconds
Yeah,
already. Yeah, I
2:50.
remember. And I was saying something like
Yeah.
that.
Like
So
what? I mean, do these guys like need a podcast or YouTube channel? Because why the hell? I mean, I have absolutely no idea what he was talking to. He was talking to Nicholson, and just was like literally on like a full on conversation for 10 seconds when the bell rung, and it was super weird because it was like, dude, like it'd be different if the bell didn't ring, but you're taking off 10 seconds. Now, a lot of people are going to say, what's 10 seconds? In 10 seconds, you could get knocked out. You're taking away from the work rate that's supposed to be 3 minutes and it's getting robbed for you for absolutely no reason. Do something better.
yeah,
Stop
I mean
talking.
that type of things. I mean, in a fight, it's only 3 minutes. Every 10 seconds counts a whole lot. In like say if it creates opportunities. So No Smoke TV said Andre getting knocked down was legit. I mean, he was from the punch, and that's how the other guy went down too. So yeah, I agree with that. But who said something here? Get smoke, get this smoke. He said, Boo Boo. Hold on, you gotta put that back for
Oh,
me.
sorry.
Boo Boo could do whatever he wanted with that guy. Yes, 100%. And this is why I said that for me, I thought that there was granted, again, there's so many things that could have gone in his mind and all of that stuff, but you gotta have to understand that there was so many opening for that guy. Going up, what Andre did was he did the same thing over and over and over.
Correct.
He didn't change. He didn't jab to the body. He didn't jab to the head. He didn't do any of that stuff to create an opening. What's up, YB? So I think that he could have done so much more in creating the opportunity, like jabbing to the head, straight to the body. You could see so many of that.
But he did do some really good body shots. Like, first of all, he landed a lot of uppercuts, but his body shots to Nicholson. The thing is that Nicholson just seemed to take it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is like every time that Nicholson had his hands up, he has he's 45, right?
Mhm.
So when you're punching him and all of that stuff, that's where you got to create something in the middle. Like say there were so many openings that if Andre just dropped it right down the middle, right into his stomach, he could have bent down, he could have thrown the hook over that. That's what I'm saying, is that he wasn't setting up, he was just looking for the big punch, and again, going back into it, I would say this is something that I would speak on when it comes down to boots, but that's on
That's a
the
different
next. Yes, I
conversation.
know,
Don't no squirrel.
but this is
No
what I'm
squirrel.
saying, is that Andre,
Mm,
what he did, was he didn't create enough opportunity to open up Nicholson.
mm.
Like, say again, Nicholson had his hands up. He had the high guard,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He could have tapped him here, pulled the gloves down, or it was so many. I've seen so many right down the middle, straight right down the middle that could have landed, that could have set up a lot of openings, like the hook, the uppercut, straight to the top, or the jab or the feint. That's something that these guys weren't using, was feints. None of them use feints. If
Okay,
you look
so
at
you
all
think
the
that they were
fighters,
missing
and then
feints.
I'm gonna go back into this with Ellis too. But
Stop jumping
I
to
know
Ellis.
I'm just giving what I'm gonna speak on,
Don't talk about what you're gonna
But
do.
when it came down to that, Boo Boo didn't create opportunities, and I hope that he learns from it, because he's a terrific fighter. So when he throws that jab or feint the jab, throw it straight to the body, come up to the top with the hook or the uppercut. There was so many of that, and in the uppercut to the right, the left side was hurting the other guy too. So again, I think that setting up, as a fighter, and you forget this stuff, because I forget this stuff too when I'm in there. So of course, but this is just me analyzing as analyzing the fight, that he could have done and created an opportunity to take the guy out. And I thought that he could have done that.
Well, let's look at what you had stated on your notes. Okay, those were the pros and cons of Andre. You could go ahead and read it. And the
So
pros
he,
and cons
he can
being,
box. He had
Damon.
speed, and he has some power in those punches. And the combos were great. But I don't think he threw enough combos in this fight.
No, I thought he did.
He did.
I
He
thought-
did.
Yeah, he threw a lot of body shots. Like it was like he literally did like at least 3 or 4.
Okay.
The uppercut, from what my notes, he did, jab uppercuts, body shot straight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So those were like his.
So
key
the
points.
weakness and the cons in our own notes was that he opens up a lot. So there's times when he's looking down and he'll throw an overhand or he'll throw a hook without looking at his opponent. But when he throws a combination, he tends to just open up and all of that stuff, and again, he gets wild at times. His defense is lacking, especially after combo or throwing punches, and we saw a lot of that stuff, and I felt like he was a little bit uncomfortable when he was in front of the guy.
Okay, so we were right on those, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what about Nicholson?
Well, let me put this too. So just a learning experience for Andre is, you go out there and don't ever let Father Time or this people
Oh, they
tell
kept
you.
saying that.
People keep saying Father Time got caught up to him. Don't even let nobody tell you what to do. You're a fighter. You know what to do in there. If you want it bad enough to fight those big fights, you just gotta believe on your capabilities, because you are capable. And this is to you, Andre. You are capable. You're a tremendous fighter. You're a smart fighter. So I hope that you create opportunities on all the levels of boxing IQ that you have. Throw that jab, use that feint. Don't listen to anybody else, because when you start listening to of course your corner, you listen to that. When you start listening to other people's opinion, fans,
But don't you think it's funny?
hold on.
Okay.
Fans and
Your mic is there.
and I'm just
Stop
very
coming to my mic.
I'm just
Because
very
mic
I'm
alone.
just very very
Passionate.
passionate when it comes
I
down to it,
know.
because
Go
I
ahead.
do know that you are capable of beating all these guys. It's just that you just gotta learn to be more educated with your jab. Like I know I need to. The feints, creating opportunities, throwing straight to the body, just levels of changes. So don't be hard on yourself, because I know that you think time, or just what people are saying, that time might be catching up. Only your mind catches up to you. You are your only biggest enemy. So don't be your biggest enemy. Be your biggest fan, because I can attest to that. When you do start believing in that, you can rise higher than what you've ever achieved. So We got,
Oh my
keep
gosh,
doing what you're
Shirley.
doing, man. So now we're moving on to the second one.
No, wait, we weren't.
Oh, you weren't done with that? Okay, my bad.
No, you. I told you to talk about what Damon did wrong.
Oh,
and
Damon.
right.
So Damon, I think that for him, he didn't create enough opportunity. He didn't throw enough jab, and he waited too much.
Mhm.
So when you start waiting too much, man, that's when you start to be you're controlled by your opponent. Because if you wait too much, you're not creating those opportunities, or you're not stopping them. Guess what happens? You're just gonna wait for your demise. You're just gonna wait for them to take control. And when the moment they take control, you're just gonna be in the back pedal every time, and you're always gonna be a step behind all the time. So going back into that, for him, Demond, his he didn't have really we didn't really put anything that I mean, he had defense when he had to, but I thought that his weakness was, he dropped his hands when he was punching. This is what we said before.
He did drop too low. Wait. So our con before was that he drops too low when trying to evade punches, and he did do that very scarily a lot during the fight with Andrade. And there was a couple part. I think he might have hit him once.
He
But
did early round. He gets
wasn't-
hit on the top of the head
Yeah,
a
but it
couple of
wasn't-
times.
yeah.
He didn't get hurt or anything like that.
That he
but
didn't
still,
get hurt.
it could if Andrade came in a little bit lower on the punch,
I mean, it's
he
just
would
a
have landed
matter.
it.
It's
Yeah,
just a
it
matter
was
of
a matter of time,
inches.
right?
No,
Exactly.
inches. It's an inch game, right? Like,
And
so
it matters.
Inches matter. God, it's Monday
So he
morning.
dropped two lows, and he stands there to get punched. And again, he keeps waiting, right? He just keeps waiting on that, So I think for me, in giving him the advice is, be the first person to attack. Don't wait on anybody else. You can't let your mind take over and the fear or the cautiousness take over by waiting and thinking that it's gonna do you any good. It's not gonna do you any good if you're gonna keep waiting, unless you're waiting to counter somebody. Like if you don't keep your hands up here after he's done punching, boom, 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 you go back into it.
Well, so we were correct on our cons before the fight. It says he stands there for punches. He doesn't seem like he stands there for punches, but then he's first of all his feet are together when it comes to foot placement when he's in that high guard. So the chances of him landing a powerful counter on Andre during those times are slim to none because he's not in the right punch position. So if he figures out how to to high guard plus also move, change the distance within that, then I think he'll have a better defense. But right now, I'm not super a fan of just standing there and taking punches. We've seen fighters stand there very straight up with feet together with a high guard. But we all know with a high guard there's so many different openings. They usually get cut with hit with an uppercut. Just standing there. I mean, you're not moving. You're basically a punching bag. So if there's any advice I would give to Nicholson, it'd be working on that. Don't be too complacent that your high guard's going to protect you.
Well, I think becoming the high guard type of person is because, there's just too many things. Like, say, I believe, and this is the mental state that he's in, that I see, is because when he's being attacked, and if he can take control, then the high guard drops, right?
Okay.
But because he tries to test the water to see if these people are gonna keep going, and if they keep going, then he stays the same. So going into that, I think you have to be first. You have to create rather than wait, and that's his biggest mistake or biggest flaws is he wait for his opponent to get him.
Exactly.
And to see it, to test the water that if they can do it or not. You can't wait for anybody. If you want to create something about yourself or to create something in this business, you got to be the first to do it.
My dad said, in case you guys don't know, that's my dad in the shots. He said, waiting and doing nothing without feint gets you set up for an attack. You have to move so the opponent does not have a solid target.
Yes, 100%.
Yep.
So, but that's what we had. We have on this. That's we're good to move on.
Yes, you can move on now.
So it would be Ellis.
Oh wait, I had one more thing. I didn't know I did have one more thing. To all the people that are like, oh my God, age is catching up with him. Listen, age is catching up to you, and I'm talking to the announcers. The announcers on the
they're
telecast,
worse when it comes down.
Wait,
to
no.
that,
First of all, They're the oldest out of the damn group. Okay, so you shouldn't be going like, well, you're old. It's like, Screwball, you're older than me. Be quiet, and you should be retired, sitting playing with your grandkids. So shut the hell up. Okay? Just because you can't move the way young people move doesn't mean you crap on young people. Listen, science, nutrition, technology is so advanced compared to when older generations grew up. And that is what is keeping us young. In addition to now there's mental health where you could talk about your problems and work through problems. So, that being said, your 40 was not what our 40s are, not even what our 30s are.
Well,
not what even what
if you look
20s are.
at history, right? They were dying at 20s back in the days, and
Again,
then
this is
30s,
just
and then
they getting
40s, and
married
then
at like
50s.
16.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying is just that the extension of the life that we have is because we have great science,
Mhm.
right? And two, you know, when you start the spiritual aspect too is and the mindset of the fighter like myself is I feel good, I feel great, but because I believe in my body, right? And that's what creates those intention. When you have those intention in your body, you start to heal.
Yeah.
Like I feel great. You know what I'm saying? So it's not so much as a matter of age, it's a matter of mindset, I think. And of
Well,
course
that's
being
what I'm
healthy,
saying.
of course.
But that's what I'm saying. Like we're talking about the evolution of the generation. Right? Like we're
100%.
talking about, oh, well, you're supposed to be running 10 miles or 20 miles a day, which was an old boxing thought.
Right.
Now we
right.
have strength and conditioning trainers. So, it's funny that we, I get the telecasters or anybody that wants to say or put you down is like, hey, like, you know, you're getting old. And it's like, old for what? Like, it's so anyway, that's just my rant. That's just my rant. I still get carded for getting a Sharpie.
There
So
you go.
all right, guys, we're gonna go on to
The next
oh,
one.
not that one. Wait, hold on. Who was next? Ellis.
Ellis.
His
Should be at
thing
the
is down.
bottom.
Yeah, his is here.
Rashidi Ellis versus Roman Villa.
Now I'm gonna warn you. I'm going to warn you. Samson might come up and get mad at you if you talk about Villa.
Nah, listen. Villa came in there strong.
Mhm.
He came in there with chin. Go back into our notes.
Okay.
And so let's go with Villa. We knew he was aggressive. That's what we said, and that's what we saw only in there. We didn't know he had that great of a power because going into the fight, he was just more aggressive than seeing the power. And in this fight, he actually had a lot of power going into this fight. He had heavy hands. He doesn't have that speed.
No.
But he came in there with great power, with heavy hands. And again, our expectation of him was he was aggressive, and then what we said too was that he tended to throw wide, which was showing that fight, and he tended to drop his hands, and he did.
Oh yeah, he just walks like how does he walk? You want to show how Villa walks?
I don't know.
Like, he just walks in like this, like literally walks in and then barely even throws a jab.
Yeah.
And then just starts wailing on you.
But he threw a lot of power shots,
Yes.
and that deterred Ennis, Ellis, Rashidi. So, I thought that he did an amazing job going in there knowing that he was supposed to lose this fight, you know. And again, my honest opinion is I think he didn't do enough to win that fight. But that was because I think that Rashidi was winning a lot of the early rounds. But those two knockdowns really.
Samson's gonna come.
I know. I love Samson though. But this is just my honest opinion, and I'm never really, I'm always going to be respectful to people. But this is who I am. I will speak on what I
He will
think.
tell us to watch the fight again.
I know, and and the fight was close. I can say that. So giving Via the win was still a I can't contest that still, but I'm saying in my personal opinion, I thought that Ellis won a lot of the early rounds, in my opinion.
Yeah. So with our notes, we said that Ellis, again, this is prior to the fight, that he was fast. He has a quick jab and nice check hook. The cons were that he was too tight, too focused on trying to do offense. He leaves his chin up while punching, and he doesn't use his legs for power. Villa was aggressive. Again, this is before the fight, and he has his hands down as a con, and he punches wide. I think all of that was pretty much spot on when it came to the fight. Via, like we said, he did. Ellis came out with jabs and doing body work in round two. Via was wide and winging. He couldn't cut the ring. You can't cut the
Yeah,
ring
he
if you're
never cut the
literally
ring, and
just
so
like walking.
yeah, he was just walking.
It's
He
like
was
a T-Rex
yeah,
walking. You know those little toys that the boys
right.
have that are like this? Hey, Remy. You guys,
Well,
this
I
is
mean,
so
I've been,
early. You've been waiting for this?
I've been
Okay, here we
waiting for
go.
this. Why hasn't no one mentioned how Via slowed Ellis down with low blows, causing Ellis to be wary, making him forget about the left hook upstairs? Rob, what do you have to say about that?
He did. I don't think he got called for any low blows, but I think. Listen, so to stop a runner, right? Most people,
Is
and I'm
body
not. I'm
blows,
not
right?
calling. I'm not calling. Ellis a runner,
A boxer. Let's just
a
say the boxer.
boxer,
Right?
someone who moves a lot.
Yes.
You attack their body, and that's what Via's. I'm going to assume that's what his game plan was to attack the body this entire time, because that's the only way he's going to stop him from moving around. I
Right.
guarantee you, Via was extremely irritated that he would have just sit still so that he could hit him.
Right. And you know, going in there, and if you look at that, low blows and low punches can really hurt a fighter and slow him down. But I thought that Ellis was mentally fatigued, I think.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but let me go back into before I go into Ellis, going back into Via first. I thought that he did what he had to do, what he was was what we expected him going in there, but he did more than what we expected him to do, because I thought he was gonna lose that fight. And
Who?
personally,
You said Via was going to lose.
yeah, not Ellis, but Via.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. You said unanimous decision for
right,
Ellis,
right.
but you did say it was going to go all 12.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I think
you
I think
guys
I think I
know.
wanted, for me, I think my expectation was I wanted him to knock their opponents out so that we can create something bigger fight, with
Well,
Boots,
yeah, him and
you
Boots
know.
were talking all
But
this.
going into this fight, Via did more than what we expect him to do, and I think for him, I think he's just going there with for his next fight, go in there with confidence, instead of waiting, because he was kind of lost in the beginning rounds. He didn't feel like he belonged in there until he started to get more confident and started pressing forward.
Well,
So
let's talk
that's
about.
pretty much my opinion, or my thing that I can give to Via, is go in there and do what he's best at, and that is to be aggressive and not take time, because I think that he has the chin for it too.
1,
So
2, 3.
hey! He's hit him low several times. Ellis UD by 2 rounds. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I thought that again. No disrespect to Samson here, because I know
Oh,
he,
you're no
but
Samson.
I thought that Ellis won that fight at least by 2 rounds.
Well, let's talk about the elephant, the big elephant that cost him the 12th round.
The last, yeah.
He put. Okay, I'm gonna let you say. How did he end up getting caught with a left hook?
Oh, he hopped, and he was crossing his legs to move out of the punch, and then he hopped out. But when you're crossing your legs, you don't have that. You can't propel yourself far enough. And what happened was he got caught with that left hook because he hopped back, but his leg was crossed. So you can't cross your legs, especially on a fight, and you're in front of somebody. When you're crossing your legs, because your feet has to be like this, right? But when you go out this way, then guess what? You can't push this one, or you don't have enough balance to propel yourself and you're going to be open when it comes down to it. So a lot of people don't look at the footwork, but that's one of the important parts in fighting is you got to have the right balance when you're moving.
And by balance, we also mean by like what is it called? Not just foot placement, but punch ready. I'm blanking because it's Monday and I'm not a morning person. So
See, that's an excuse right there because you get her to jump in when the kids need to go to school. Guess what? She's up in the morning.
Well, I'm gonna have to do that when you go over to.
This is
That's
exactly
a responsibility.
Yes.
I swear you guys just
Thank you,
like
brother. I
playing
appreciate that. Watch it again, and they should run it back. Yes.
Ooh, you think they should run it back? Okay, I'm gonna counter you on this one, Remy, because okay, this was for the IBF title eliminator. Why? If I was Samson, not Via, okay, because we always hear boxers, they're gonna say, yes, I want to run it back for sure. Like, I'll give him a rematch. Why, as a manager, would you, after you placed your guy in the best position for the IBF title, why would you run it back? As far as an immediate rematch, why? When you're now, first of all, you're going to add more time onto the IBF, like for you to go for the title, because now you're going to, 4 to 6 months, depending on how long it's going to take to renegotiate that the next fight, and then also find a fight date for you to fight on. You could lose time to challenge for the position that you already just won. So why would you? And I'm talking.
Well, I mean, this
Samson,
is just in the business aspect, right?
But why would you? I'm saying,
because
saying,
he was stated to lose that fight. He was expected to lose that fight, and obviously that didn't go according to their plans. So I think that Ellis will beat him the next time, 100%. I thought he'd beat him this time.
Which is why the hell,
Yes,
if I was
100% what you're
Samson,
saying. Yeah, you would not take that chance unless of course, there's an offer, right?
But you have a direct line to the title.
Well, if you have if you have the direct line to the title.
This was a title eliminator.
Oh, there you go. So, that's what he petitioned for, right?
Yes, the IBF title eliminator. So why would you go a step back or to your side when the crown's right there?
Right.
Why would you risk it?
So, but I mean, yeah. So going back into it, Villa just got to go out there and create opportunities because he has the momentum now. But going into Ellis, Ellis did an amazing job boxing him, throwing combinations. And that's what we said he was gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that he was gonna go out there, show more on sitting down and one thing again, going back into it, like I said with Andrade, was these guys didn't use feints. When you're hurt, go use feints. Create opportunities, make him stop, control the fight. And that's exactly what I'm saying is if he had used feints, if Ellis has used feints,
turn on the air. It's hot.
Yeah, if he had used feints, he would have knew where Villa was going, and what he would do. And so I think that's something that he needs to come out into the next fight, use feints, learn from it, learn from his mistakes on this fight, because you know what? This is a blessing because it could have been worse if it was anybody else, So I truly believe that this was a gift for him to better himself. Losing is the mindset, right? Listen, I lost my second fight. Okay, I lost my second fight. It didn't stop me from becoming a world champion. So to Ellis, this is for you, man. If you're willing to become world champion, take this as a blessing because this will propel you to the next level. This will get you to where you want to be. But you got to learn. You got to learn how to get there by asking the right question, not the wrong question of, man, I should have won that fight. Man, how did I lose that fight? And no, forget all of that. Because you know what? That already happened. You can't reverse that anymore. But one thing you can do is ask yourself the right question. How can I get better from this? What did I do that made that fight close? What do I need to learn to get better from this? How can I beat guys like these? And how can I get to the next level of me and my performance? Those are the questions that you need to be asking yourself, not why you lost the fight or why the judges didn't give it to you or why did it happen that way. Forget all of that. That already happened. Accept what you have at this moment, and that is an opportunity to get better. So get yourself back in the gym, mentally create that mental fortitude by asking the right question. Are you willing to get to the top? And if you do, make this an opportunity, a blessing. This setback a blessing, because that can propel you to the top. That's all you need to do is to have mental strength, and you get there. So, man, just again, that is my take on it. I thought you did an amazing job moving in there. I thought you did an amazing job boxing. But again, go back into it, learn from it, and because I do want to see this fight with you, because I know you have great skills. So let's create that. Let's create that for yourself. And then we're gonna move on and go to the next fight. That
Wait,
a lot of
wait,
people.
wait.
Oh,
I
you
saw a
want?
super chat.
Yes.
Did you see one?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, hold on. And I don't even have my headset in.
Remy, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Because Sam is a good guy and Rahman Villa didn't win it convincingly, and the title shot isn't promised.
Yeah, I mean that's true. That's true. Samson is a good guy. Yes, that's not. I think, like I said, I think business is
I think
business.
Samson is a businessman first before being a good guy. I think Samson is a great guy.
I think at the core of it, yes, he is. But business is business, and he has to do right for his fighters, whatever is going to be in his best interest. And if he doesn't have, if he's sitting on the sidelines, and he doesn't have anything to do, then for sure, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then going back into it, we definitely want to see that fight happen because of the fact that it was questionable, right, to a lot of people. And I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. Anybody who can pose a threat or puncher like Villa, and then of course a talented guy like Ellis, it needs to happen. But again, it's promotion, and again, it's people making this fight happen for everybody. For everybody, everybody has to kind of want it, but sometimes we don't. We all know that we don't have control over who or what, regardless of who. I mean, we wanted Spence a Crawford fight, but it never really happened, right? So
Let's
I
not
know.
talk
Let's not
about
talk
that.
about that. Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Not.
YB's gonna be all up in there.
Hey, you guys, and just to let you guys know, we will open up the channel at
Once
the
we're
end
done
of-
with
yeah,
all this
once
stuff.
we're done
Yeah.
with all this stuff. But I did want to clarify real quick before we go on to the last two cards. The Cash App down below it's a Cash App. But basically, it'll go. The proceeds from that will go directly to our 501c3 that helps women and children. He's really big into children.
Yeah.
I'm really big into helping abused women. And any of the of course natural disasters and things like
Right.
that people need help. I'm setting up. I'm trying to look for a really good 501c3 donation intake that has, of course, the right security for our contributors.
Donators.
So as soon as I set that up, I'll put that also down there. So
Yeah.
just to let you know, that's what that one is. So here we go. Here's the next guy. All right.
Here we
So
go.
nope,
That
not
ain't
that
it.
one. That guy.
Duran Ennis versus Karen Shukajan.
They said his name's Karen. Karen.
Yeah, Karen.
We can't say Karen because I keep thinking of somebody at Walmart.
Karen.
Okay.
Like, oh hell no.
No, that's not what they say. They said, "Let me speak to your manager.
Let me speak to
I
your
will talk to your
manager.
manager. I will get you fired." It's not even. They don't even say it like that. But
Yeah, it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Yes.
We have that. It's called Donaire Legacy.
yes.
That's a nonprofit. So
Stop pushing me.
Okay, man. Dang.
Yes,
All
it's a
right.
501c3, but again, I'm trying to figure out what's the best opportunity for, to make sure that whatever you do donate, it's not getting killed by fees and things like that. So, like I said, when I set up which avenue or channel, I'm going to bring that money into the 501c3, so your donations will go directly,
To good cause, great
and you could
causes.
and you also get a tax writing certificate
Yes.
at the end of the year for what you donated. So
She'll
stay
figure
tuned
that
for
out. I
that.
can't. I
Yeah.
can't figure that out.
No. Okay. So
Not that I can't, but I'm not willing to. There you go. The word is willing.
good accountability.
Yeah,
Good
this is what I'm saying.
accountability.
Like going into all of this stuff, giving these guys advice, is taking accountability.
Mhm.
Because yes, the fight already happened. So, you know, just do what you gotta do, and move on from there rather than living the past. And guess what happens when you live the past? You're gonna keep going in that same direction, which is burying yourself deeper and deeper and
Yes, but
deeper.
the question of this is, did the A side fighters fail us? And we're going to keep asking that question through this as we're breaking this down, right?
Yes.
We're not going to answer the question until after, but did they fail us, right? So the next one, of course, is Ennis versus
Shukajan.
oh, Jesus.
Karen.
But no, you can't say Karen.
Kren. I like the beer Kren.
All right. So what were our notes before the fight?
Yes. Well, go ahead. You want to do Ennis's?
So Ennis is, of course, he has great combinations. He has shown that he has power. He's a switch hitter. He has a very good defense and reflexes. He does mix up the shots up and down. It has a variety of shots, and I do love his uppercut. The thing is, the cons is when he's looking to place his punch, he
opens up.
pauses and he opens up. Mostly when he's trying to look for that placement, his hands are low, opening up headshots for his opponent.
Do you want to talk about
You say
Shukajan too?
Shukaja. No, you say it.
So Shukajan was supposed to be aggressive in all his fights. He's aggressive, Of course, in this fight, we didn't really see him become aggressive. And his chin was usually when he punches, his chin is up there, and his feet are very slow. We saw a little bit of that. Although, actually, let me rephrase that. He was actually fast on his feet this time.
And he opens up.
And
on
yeah,
the attack.
yeah. But he does open up in his attack, and that's how Boots was able to get some hits in there, But yeah, going back into it, with Boots,
Hey, this is one of the fights that Karen did do a lot of feints to make Boots second guess.
There you go. The feints, guys. The feints, Again, from Andrade to Ellis, use the feint.
Don't forget about the feint.
Don't forget the feint.
Like, don't over feint, but don't
don't
under
over feint, or else you'll faint. So, Boots, there's an expectation of Boots and what Boots should do because of the previous fights and stuff like that, and sometimes it's unfair for us to assess that, but he put himself in there, by his power and all of this stuff. And, but let's talk about Shukajan before we go into Boots first, though. Shukajan, I think he did an amazing job countering Boots, countering with that hook. When Boots threw that jab, he'll counter with the hooks, and he was moving a lot where he wasn't susceptible to being hit with combination that Boots usually do because he was moving. He was using lateral movements, and that took away Boots's power, took away Boots's ability
to land a big shot.
Yeah,
because the thing is that Karen was so
Shukajan
with that. Shukajan was moving around so much, and to land a big power shot, you should have your feet placed correctly, right? But the fact that he was moving allowed Boots to kind of reach a little bit more than normally he would. That's why he got hit in the where is it?
A lot of rounds he got hit, or
With
even in the early
hook.
rounds with the left hook. Remember, I kept saying that he was getting caught with the left hook.
Yeah.
Every time he reached in with the jab,
It wasn't hard. Shukajan,
because he was moving away. He was
Yeah, it
moving
was
away,
moving away. It
but
was more
it prevented Boots from landing those big shots.
Yeah, it disrupted his pattern, of whatever combination he was going to throw.
Right.
It disrupted it because then he was pushed off, right? Especially when he was in the southpaw.
Yeah. But let me give this advice to Shukajan, keep boxing because you box well, and keep using those jabs and feints, you know, were terrific. So keep your head up. That was one of the best fighters in this division that you in that level that you could have fought. So keep training, keep training. I guess that's all I gotta say. Now we can move on to Boots. We have so much expectation with Boots, right?
Mhm. Expectation.
And I thought going into this fight, he was walking, and that prevented him. That's why Shukajan was able to land those punches because he was walking.
Well, I think that he started to walk after 6 though. Like I think like it's weird because I think everybody was like, "Oh, we're going into 6. He hasn't gone past 6
Right.
in his professional career." And because I don't know if he heard them say that, but it seemed like it because
Right.
then his feet started to slow down and
One-
he wasn't cutting off the ring anymore.
One thing that confused me, and maybe perhaps I can say this, in my opinion, I think Boots is southpaw, right? Because he was in the southpaw more than in the right hand stand. I thought that he could have landed those overhand right.
If he was in
if he was in
orthodox?
orthodox, and I thought that he could have jabbed around Shukajan
Mhm.
more, rather than being on the southpaw because it gave Shukajan a lot of the way out being on the southpaw.
Yeah.
That's what I personally think going into this fight. I don't know how you guys felt about that.
It says like on his let's see. Let me just check his box rec because on his Wikipedia it says that he is an orthodox stance fighter. So I'm actually surprised. Let me just check his box rec to see what they have him listed as.
Well,
No, it says orthodox too, and because I swear, like the other fights that I've seen, him
yeah.
is,
So
is
it was
orthodox.
it was weird to me. He was trying to be in a southpaw a lot.
Most of the time.
Most of the
Right?
time, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that I thought he could have done so much better than slipping those punches that Shukajan was throwing if he was on the orthodox stance, And what's Remy said Teofimo was heavily thrown under the bus, but Boots looked great. The double standards from fans. Boots had no plan B. I think it was the greater that I think we have so much expectation from fighters, and I think with Tio and the way he lost to Cambosos hurt a lot of people, in terms of because they expected him to do something, not
Well,
knowing.
yeah, and this is the thing. Like at the end of the day, Boots won every single round. I don't believe I could check the scorecards, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
he won every single round. It was 120, 108.
Yeah.
You know.
So I mean, so did he do enough? He did enough. We're just talking about, like I said, like
the expectation of him because we're already putting him. I was talking to YB about this. We're already putting him with the likes of Crawford and Spence. And the way he showed up in that fight, kind of dropped that ball a little bit in terms of our expectation. But I think Boots came in there with the mindset of knocking this guy out, right? Like all his other fights. But in doing so, he showed his flaws by not changing his style or his game plan. Like he came out there with no game plan, like everybody was saying. He just went out there and just try to tee off on the guy. And I think that's something that he needs to learn in becoming into that level of what we were
Well, I mean, we
speaking
can always
about.
talk about what he could have done. Again, we expected him to fight. We expected him to fight an
Right.
orthodox, and he literally was. I felt like he was better when he was orthodox, but then he persisted in fighting southpaw. Now we don't know why. Hopefully, when you and YB go to Philly next week, you guys
This
can
week.
connect. Or this week? Oh, this week.
This week.
Oh, you're
I'm
leaving
leaving tomorrow to go to Philly. So all the people in Philadelphia, man, I want to come see y'all, man. YB, will be hanging out with me. So come hang out with us,
But
man.
it'd be great for you to ask him why he picked southpaw. instead of
Yeah, so
orthodox.
that's something that I want to talk to, or I want to ask Boots. If I have the opportunity to see him, is what was his mind, what was his game plan going into the fight? Because I truly think that he was trying to, when you try too hard,
Mhm.
sometimes it takes away, your system, your whole system.
Yeah. So Hyphy said last week Ennis stated that he and Gervonta were competing to get the best KO. Big sign of overlooking and trying too hard. See that when you're trying to this is why I'm not so like hard on the fact that okay, well he didn't knock him out. First of all, like we said, he won on all the scorecards, but when you're trying to force a
Yeah.
knockout, it's a really difficult. And I think like Shikajian
Anything for us is difficult.
Shikajian like knew that he was supposed to be the sacrificial lamb, even though he had an extensive amateur career. And
Right.
let's I mean like his the way that he boxed, which some people don't like. It's all about not getting hit, and he did try to hit. It wasn't as effective, but the whole thing is he didn't want to be that highlight reel for Ennis, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to be the highlight reel.
And I think with Boots, one thing he didn't show was his reflex. He wasn't missing those punches. He was just going out there, and tried to s- just try to land his punches. You know what I mean? He wasn't using his head movement and try to make a miss like he did in the previous fights that we've seen him. You know, but yeah, that's pretty much what I think. And giving Boots advice, man, you know, hope you learn from this experience, because this experience will propel you to get to the next level. And that next level is your decision. Because if you go into this fight, because that fight you look like you were just a a champion that were just tired and had so many title defenses, you just want to go out there and just knock somebody out. Sounds familiar to me. So, but I think you have the capability to set things up. Your jab, body shots were great, and take this as a learning lesson to prepare yourself that when you try too hard, it's never gonna work. Work in having fun in there and using your ability. When you go out there using that ability, you'll see your power will come out, your speed will come out, and you're gonna be having fun. And whatever the results you're looking for is gonna come in. So ask yourself the question: where do I go in creating the boots that I want the people to see, not the boots that that went into that fight because you were trying too hard. Use your skills. Ask that person inside of you, how can I create this boots that maximize my potential so that people can see my true potential? So go in there, work hard, man. You got all the skills in the world. And yeah, with Mark saying you are going to freeze in Philly, 30, 40 degrees all week. Oh man.
And this is why I'm not going.
So
We've been going back and forth. You come in or you're not going. You come in, you're not going. I'm like, man. Oh, and then I heard about I started seeing what he was packing, and it's like those big jackets. I was
yeah,
like, no.
yeah.
We're
So
literally Vegas right now. We're spoiled. Like if this is what winter's gonna be for the rest of the
yeah, but yeah,
time.
going back into it, man, boots. You know what? I just want to keep my thought before I lose my train of thoughts, because you were pointing
Okay.
the thing.
Okay.
So I went and said, okay,
All right, continue.
all right, go ahead and talk.
No, I just said that I like Vegas weather and I'm not going to Philly. That's
Yeah, I
all.
know.
Continue. Go.
All right, I'm done now. Then I lost my train of thought.
Squirrel.
No, I'm trying to
You're
talk
going to
my
Davis.
thing of what I wanted to talk to Boots about and how he can improve. And that's
Well,
that's all there is
let's
to
give
it.
the suggestions after.
I did give every suggestion,
Okay, go.
every from Andre, I gave the suggestion. From Ellis, I gave the suggestion. You know, so I'm giving a suggestion to Boots about how he can improve, and that is how by asking that right question of how he can create that person that he wants people to see. instead of asking the question of like, man, I
But should he want to be the person everybody wants to see? That's
no,
expectation.
not everybody wants to see what he wants people to see, that in himself. Like, say, for him, he wants, like, for me, the undisputed champion. That's coming
Mm.
from me, but I want people to see that, right? That's coming from me. I
Yeah.
want for him to come in within himself to see that this is what I want people to see, not the last fight, you know. And I wanted to make the suggestion too that he was studying Mike Tyson in this fight, and I think he just was so focused in the power, because you see a little bit of this that he did, which he didn't really do. He did about once or twice, or once, and it was off. It was kind of off. You know what I'm saying? It didn't fit him.
It wasn't natural.
It wasn't natural.
Well, yeah, you have to practice that a lot. Not, I think I've seen him do it in another fight, but it depends on you're gonna do that with someone who's moving around a lot. It's not gonna work.
Well, not this. It should be, skip to see what they're doing and where they're moving, instead of doing this. If you're going to do this really fast, you're just going to get caught with some punches.
Well, technically, if you're just doing that really fast, you're still right in the middle.
No, but if you're doing this and pause, so you're already set,
Pause.
right?
But what I'm saying is what you just did a second ago.
That's what he did.
Yeah,
That's what
do
I'm
it
saying.
again. See, you're right there.
Right.
You're still
yeah,
moved.
but exactly. And it's extra thing. It's extra movement and extra energy that you just wasted.
Okay, are you done with boots?
Yes, we are
Okay.
done.
Gervonta
Davis
Davis.
versus Hector Luis Garcia.
All right. Let's pull up our
All
notes
right.
for that one and what we thought before the fight.
Go ahead.
We didn't really have notes on them before. Okay. So because we already knew so much about Tank, we focused on our notes on
On the
Hector.
cards. Right.
No,
Yeah.
on Hector, because we wanted to get more about him, and so
Hector had good power.
good power. He had a good
Good
straight.
straight.
He opens up when he attacks, and his chin, so his chin is up when he's
Attacking, and all of that showed up.
Well, do you want to show your video that you did before again?
Yeah. Let's do
Okay.
that.
Because I think this was, if Nostradamus did anything, this was the one that he did. Oh, hey. You guys are funny. All right, here we go, guys. Thank you, Remy.
Thank you again, Remy. It's freezing in California at 50. It's cold though. Yeah, right, man. 50. I mean, Bay Area is always cold, at least to me.
Yeah, I don't never remember going to
Yeah.
the beach in San Francisco.
Yeah, where you at in California? Well, in California. Well, is that all California though? Because I know in the Bay Area, for me,
No, LA I heard was like super
Really? Cold?
It was like flooding. Like they were getting
What?
torrential
Tarantula.
downpour. Don't say that. Carl's gonna show up and I'm
Out
like,
of
I thought you
nowhere.
were asleep. Yeah, he was like, did someone say spider?
Yeah. So yeah,
We have
just
to do
open
a
up.
share screen,
Yes,
right?
quick,
On that
quick,
one?
quick.
Wait, hold on. I have to
quick
find
time.
it. So go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah. So go. There was things that Garcia, what we said, he does open up for those shots every time he throws those shots, but he does have power in it, and he was just very reluctant, or he was just very he held his punches, the one with the arrows already.
I know, I'm looking for it. Go ahead, keep
Yeah.
talking.
So that's not it.
I know.
If you open it, the arrow's already there. So no, the one says Tank.
Oh. Well, that's all
Yeah.
you had to say.
So yeah, he opened up, but let's go on this thing that I made
Well, I got a
last
screen
week.
share because it's an MOV. So
Yeah.
it won't go. All right, guys.
So this is what I said that Tank does a lot, was the uppercut, and I said he was gonna counter. What?
Yeah, because it's not the start of the video. See?
Oh, there's not the start.
Yeah.
All
there you
right. So the uppercut, and I thought that he was gonna do this when Garcia jabbed. Garcia was just a lot taller, and he was unable to do it, which was to counter the jab with an uppercut. And I think Bob Santos was saying to Garcia, don't reach in, don't reach in, don't over commit. And so this wasn't this wasn't happening. But the hook though was something that I thought would land all the time. But this is what I said, that Tank would land this punch, the straight or the overhand follow up with the hook would land all the time, is because Garcia tend to straighten up. Like I said, he's just up there. So this was the Tank and Pedraza fight, and he would throw an overhand, which he did on this fight with Garcia, and he did it again, and then follow up with the hook. So that was his most of the combination that Tank would throw is overhand hook, and then when he has an opportunity, he would throw an uppercut. Right. So yeah.
And that's what we did before the fight. There we go. All right. So, so with that being said, what happened in the where did my phone go? Oh,
Yeah.
so in the first, okay. So remember, Nonito Damo said under 4, right? After watching the first 2 rounds, Nonito was like, 4's not coming. And so I said 8. I said 8. You said 4 to 6, right?
Yeah, 46.
Yeah.
I thought that he was going to be able to land those big punch, but again, because of that, that overhand, I thought if I thought that Garcia was going to come in there and he would open up because he was very aggressive, and I thought that he was, he wasn't going to be as cautious as he did in this fight.
Yeah.
Because
He was
because
super
he came in
cautious.
there most of the time. He'll come in there, I'll throw the 1-2, he'll throw the 1-2, but I think he felt Tank's power, and that made him. Oh yeah.
Modesto in the house.
Modesto. I fought some guy in Modesto. I think he beat me once. I beat him once. So yeah, no, Modesto, man. That's crazy. But that one of my early fights was in Modesto. Yeah. So yeah, but going back into it, the fight, I thought that Garcia was gonna be there more aggressive, and I thought that he would throw that straight because early round he threw that straight and landed at the top or the back of the head or the side of the head of Tank. And if he had kept doing that, it would have been a very dangerous opponent. But he was Tank took that away from him.
Yeah.
By his
Tank,
counters and then by his power.
Well, yeah, he started going over the jab, and either doing a straight or an overhand. Right. He was able to time Hector Garcia's jab after a while. Like I said, like we all know that Tank doesn't really do much in the early rounds. It's not surprising that he gave away rounds. Like this is what he does. He finds the distance and the timing
until he gets comfortable.
And especially with Hector being the taller opponent, I understand that most of the opponents are taller than Tank. He has to figure out that range. And he finally started getting it. And that's where, he was testing it out. I think with that height difference, in the beginning of the rounds, we were seeing Tank reach in a lot, which is what I believe Hector was hoping for. But once Tank started getting his feet with him to move, and cutting the distance better, that's where he was able to get closer after he threw that jab, slip the jab, and then come over the top.
No, it was not Michael Greshola. It was somebody else. I forget what his name was. I've had so many amateur fights. It's been a long time. So
he did the combo that we were talking about in round 4.
The overhand hook.
Yeah, he did the combo, and we were like,
and that was Garcia was so open for those punches though. And that's how he got hurt. When he got hurt later on, he got it was from a straight or overhand, and then plus the hook too, because Garcia tended to open himself up.
Yeah. Yep. And like a lot of people were wondering, like, could he not see? Could he see? Was that even like a discussion? I mean, like the thing is when you get hit, like depending on where you get hit, it does reset, a little bit. And so I'm not going to say that he couldn't see. Maybe it went blurry. But he said he didn't know where he was. It's not
I mean, if you get hit, you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really hard to speak on what went on in that fight, or how he felt. or what he saw. Because when you get hit with something like Tank does, you know, you're probably seeing Tweety Bird.
Well, and I mean, I don't think that makes really much of a difference whether you could see or not. The point is that Tank hit him to the point where he didn't want to come out in the round. What does it matter if he couldn't see or not? You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
he was getting caught, and it was just a matter of time before he gets hurt, and he did get hurt. I mean, you know, if even if we said that oh, he wasn't that hurt, he was gonna eventually get hurt. So why what's the point?
Well, people want to see people,
Go
I
out.
mean, this is it's a mean sport.
It is a
You
mean
know?
sport. Yeah, it's a mean sport. You know, but unfortunately, you know, I mean, I still got to give that respect. You know, I mean, he came in there and you know, and he showed a lot of Tank's uh greatness. You know, in terms of going into his power, in terms of the conversation of his power, in terms of conversation with his defense. You know, it showed a lot for Tanks in this fight because Garcia wasn't a walkover. You know, regardless if he went up in weight or stuff like that, he's not a walkover. He was an undefeated guy, and he beat a lot of prospects. You know, and he came in here to fight, and you know, we saw that he was he you know he has that power.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't think his power was ever in question, though. It wasn't. No, when was his power ever in question? We always said that he punched hard.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he does punch hard. You know, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not so much of the question of that. I mean, there was just a lot of things, whether it be lucky or stuff that people can talk about. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
We're making it rain.
Make it rain. Make it rain. Make it, make it, make it, make it, make it rain.
Skywalker, brother, thank you. Got to make it rain before I go back over cleaning windows.
Yes,
man.
be safe, Skywalker.
Yeah,
Remember that you have a fight on February.
Yeah, man, train hard, brother. Train hard, man. Again, you know, if you're ever in town, you know, we'll go train a little bit.
Shout out to Mark Nash. If you guys don't know his channel, make sure you go to his channel.
Yes,
like and
yes.
subscribe, hit that notification button. He talks about some pretty good topics. I love like going there at night, and very, very good. And he knows how to control the panel and have conversation, have debate, but you know, and respectfully have conversation. So
Yes.
I love talking.
And talk about animes too.
Talk about anime. No, we're not talking about anime.
No,
The last time they were talking about
That's what I'm saying.
love language, and I don't know if they were talking about foreplay. But anyway, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
It's a night channel for a reason. But you guys make sure you guys go and support his channel, and anyone else in the chats as well. Should we open up the chat?
Yeah, let's open up, man. Come hang out with me, man, and then let me hear y'all.
I definitely want to hear YB because YB loves to argue respectfully. He always says that respectfully, and then he's still arguing.
Yeah, please come out, man. Come out here and let's have a conversation. You know, I want to hear what people's opinion when it comes down to it.
While you guys are going to click that link, I do want to say, like we were talking about, did Tank Davis, Boots, Ennis, Rashidi, Ellis, and Boo Boo Andrade deliver? I think we need to make sure that our expectations is go ahead, since you're so itchy. No need us so itchy to press.
I want to press
button.
buttons. You know, I'm like my son. I'm press button, man. What's up, Skywalker?
Yeah, Skywalker today. Yeah, this is Albuquerque. This is my views today.
Oh, there you go.
And you're gonna go down that building?
Yeah, I rappel. See, these are my anchors right here. And yeah, I've been doing it for 20 years in the Army. I was a rappel master, and I used to jump from airplanes and helicopters and all that.
You're fine.
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, so I always tell people.
Yeah.
Don't do the
height.
I'm in a parking garage, and I got cars coming through here, so I got to pull my ropes up, and then I got a spotter down here because I'm wetting cars and everything.
YB, what's up, dude?
Have a blessed day. I'm gonna get back to work.
I got something to tell y'all.
Oh,
you know,
God, here we go.
Oh my God!
And look,
all right,
everybody knows I got love for Philadelphia. I love Philly. I love Boots. He's a really, really, really good talent. Styles make fights, but I didn't. You know
100%.
what? I didn't like the way he got frustrated, Nito. It wasn't that he was lunging and throwing looping shots. It was that he got frustrated by the movement of this kid. Corinne, or I don't know how to say his name, but
Shukajan.
yeah,
That's
okay.
easier.
Yeah,
Shukajan.
yeah,
Say
yeah.
Shukajan.
Kazan.
Not easy.
Yeah, he got frustrated. And
Yeah,
Nito,
no,
they
but
were
because go ahead, YB.
in DC. You called me. I was at the fight. They were booing Boots in that arena,
What?
and they were booing
Oh,
Boots.
really?
Yes, the Boo Birds was out. They were throwing stuff. People were mad. Like some people were getting escorted
Wow.
out the fight because they were upset that the fight went 12 rounds, and they were mad that Boots didn't find a way to cut off the ring, and his jab just for
He
me,
wasn't using it.
it seemed non-existent, and for his athleticism, not to be able to cut off the ring was alarming to me. Because
Yeah.
when you got a guy with that type of athleticism that people compare to Roy Jones, but can't cut the ring off, it looked. I was frustrated in Boots' performance because of how frustrated he was. Because you could see him after the third round visibly frustrated.
Yeah, because he wanted to knock the dude out. That's the thing, was he was trying too hard. When you try too hard, you're gonna get frustrated because you're not getting what you're expected to do.
And this is my thing. Like when you talk about me and Tank are gonna have the best knockout and who's gonna make the biggest highlight and don't blink, don't get popcorn, don't move from the TV. That's what he said at the weigh-in. When he sat down with Steven Jackson and them, he said, "Oh,
Man.
and this is my thing. I don't like when fighters get too much ahead of themselves, and I just wish, Boots put unnecessary expectations on himself because we all, like you said, Nito, we all have expectations on Boots that, we have, maybe unrealistic expectations of him because of how he looked against Castillo Clayton, Delorme, Lipinets. Every fight up to this point, we saw him get somebody out the ring super early. So we just felt, okay, this guy is kind of obscure. We don't really know who he is.
Right.
Boots is on another level. He's calling out Spence and Crawford and Jamil Tarlow. So we expect this guy to get him out of there. And maybe Boots placed those expectations on himself. And, it was so many Philadelphia people in the crowd, man. It was so many people that made the trip from Philly.
Well, YB, Mark Nash is asking, I thought they were booing Karen.
Both of them.
Who
were they booing?
They were booing both of them. They were booing Corinne for footwork, but a lot of people in the crowd were booing him from booing Boots for not cutting off the ring.
Wow.
Like they were like, cut off the ring. You know what I mean? That's what they were screaming in the crowd. Cut the ring off. So it was a lot of people there that that were upset in that fight. You know what I mean? Period. Because and this is my thing, Nito. I don't like when people say somebody's running. I don't like that, bro. Because this the thing. Fighters often get accused for running, and that's not the, okay, he didn't engage the way that we wanted him to. But like Rachel said, nobody wants to be on the highlight reel. And if I'm not gonna make it easy for you. You have to come get me. And because Corinne was not supposed to go the distance. So him going to the distance is a win for him. But Boots wanted to knock this guy out, but him, like you said, getting flat-footed after round 6 for all that athleticism.
Yeah, and he was walking. And he was just walking. You can't see the punches coming at you if you're walking. And second, you can't set yourself up to be, to take off the punches, to let the punches go when you're not balanced because you're walking. And if you do take those punches out, they're not going to be as powerful as when you are sitting down or have the balance to throw those punches.
Well, and I think like for me, like everybody before the fight, right, was like Boots, Crawford, Boots, Spence, all this other stuff. And people ask me like, what do you think about Boots versus these top players? And I said, I need to see him have more experience, right? Because of course Spence is gonna try to drown him in deep waters. Crawford, the same thing. These guys have gone 12. Like it's nothing new to them. And I felt that I needed him to have this experience for him to be better. So when and if he does end up fighting these guys, then it's not a question, right? And here's Shelton. Welcome. Good morning.
Uncle Shell. But
Hey y'all, what's going on? How's everybody?
What's up?
brother?
what's up,
Happy
up?
Hey,
morning.
so this is the guy, huh? This is the guy
Yep.
that's taking over the welterweight
Oh
division.
boy. Yeah, go ahead.
This guy,
YB.
this the guy that's gonna smoke Crawford. This guy,
Hey, he just need to
Styles
learn,
may
man.
fight,
He just
man.
need
Styles
to
this,
may
learn,
fight.
this the
okay?
guy that's gonna smoke Errol Spence, and nobody can deal with this guy. That's what y'all telling me,
Styles
right?
may, Styles may fight.
No,
But
no. That
hey, but
look.
No.
look,
Let me tell you something. Let
hey,
me tell you
Nito.
something, YB. And I would go
Uh-huh.
with that. I would go with that. But boxing 101, especially if you could say you the best switch hitter in the division, then you should be able to cut off the ring. This dude had no idea how to cut that ring off.
Shelton, you sound mad.
No, listen.
Shelton's just passionate.
No, that yeah, 100%, you know. And that's the thing is he's young, but his mindset was to try to knock this dude out because he got caught with this conversation like YB was saying about who gets the best knockout. And sometimes it plays the game, right? And it messes the whole game up, you know. And I do want to see him again with another fighter to see what his true capabilities are, you know, because that was a person that wanted to impress or have a competition with another fighter.
I mean,
Right.
I think like Nonito was saying, Styles make fights, right? If he really wanted to make us, okay, here's the problem. If he was on plan A, going to try to make a statement for his case against Spence and Crawford, I think that, you know, getting some guy he's going to blow out in 4 rounds is again going to keep me in the same position of I need to see you get into deep waters. I need to know that you can adjust, you can handle yourself in that type of situation because Spence and Crawford have been there, right?
Right.
But we get a guy who he has to try to chase down the entire night, and that doesn't like really prove yay or nay if he should be in the ring, because we all know that Spence and Crawford is not going to be that guy, right? They're not going to be and I'm saying runner, and I don't like using that. I mean, they're not going to
A mover. He's a mover. He moves.
He's not going to
He's
just
a motor
Boxes,
mover.
yeah.
and box
Box.
around. They're
Right.
going to engage a lot more.
Right.
So I feel like this fight wasn't really a tell-all for me. I want to see another fight that actually is going to have more of
I
the
want to
same
see him
style.
fight Villa.
You want him to fight Villa?
Yeah, I would love that fight. I would love it. I
Because
think that
the
fight
dude
that's the
got
fight.
would
power.
match up more with his style because Villa's gonna be right there for you. He's coming to you.
Yes.
He's coming to
Yes.
Hey,
get you.
hey, he gonna stop Villa. And let me tell you something.
I
This
think
guy
so
Boots,
too.
this guy Boots is still the real deal, man. Like my man in the chat said, Slim Creeper. He says Boots won every round. Yes, he did. In my opinion, yes, he
I'm
did.
not saying,
But
and I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you tell me that this guy is gonna smoke Spence and this guy is gonna smoke Crawford, I'm expecting him to at least be able to cut the ring off because I know both of them know how to cut the ring off. They would have cut the ring
hey,
off on this dude and made this dude fight. This
there's this guy
guy
from
didn't do that.
and there's this guy from Texas that likes to go into the body. There's this guy from Texas that's in that avatar right there. That is vicious on the inside.
Tell us whose
Vicious.
side you're on. Tell us whose
Okay,
But
listen.
none of that would have mattered. None of that, everything you're saying is true, YB, but none of that shit would matter if Spence didn't know how to cut the ring off because they
And,
would
and
just
let me
run
let me
around.
let me add to that too, Sheldon. Though,
Yes.
when it came to fighting, right? So if he's fighting those guys, you know he's gonna study those guys. You know he's gonna
Right.
be very aware.
Well, wait a minute, no,
Oh.
wait a minute.
He
Because the
said
man
he
said
didn't
he
study
don't
this
study
dude.
tape. He said
Yeah,
he don't
didn't
study
watch
tape.
tape. He said he didn't watch
That's
tape.
what he said.
Well, okay. So if he doesn't study tape like I do, I'm gonna be more cautious, right? I'm gonna be more cautious, and I'm gonna bring everything else. Now, again, going back into it, Tank, Pitbull, Cruz. Pitbull wasn't that way when he fought anybody else. You know what I'm saying? He went out there and just, I
You're
mean,
saying he rose to the occasion.
he rose to the occasion, and I think that Boots is gonna do the same thing. Because it's just like YB was saying. It's different fight. Styles and the levels too. You gotta rise to that level.
I would hope so, bro. I would really hope so because the guy I saw Saturday night, Spence probably stops him. Crawford probably stops that guy. The guy I saw Saturday night. That guy was
I
turning
don't know.
around like a top, missing big shots. Footwork was terrible. Couldn't cut the ring off. I mean, that guy would have got stopped against those two
I don't
guys.
know.
Yeah, he got stopped.
Look. I don't know. I don't know if they stopped that young guy. Look, that's a young monster. That kid is still a monster. Now I'm upset. Now this is the only thing. I was frustrated that Boots got frustrated. Rachel, I talked to your friend YSM. He was at the hotel, at the fighter hotel. We talked afterwards, and Team Boots was in the building. And I told Team Boots, I said, look, y'all keep telling me go find this guy from Texas and all. I said, man, I said I don't know if y'all want to hop off that boat and go fishing just yet. I told him that. I told Boots' brother, I said, hey man, there's this guy from Texas that you keep calling out. That's a bad man too, and he mean just like Boots is, and he ain't gonna go down from just one punch. You get what I'm saying? That's the only thing I wanted. I'm happy Boots went 12 because when you have a guy that gets a reaction out of everybody with one good shot and they start folding, it could create an illusion in your mind. But not everybody's going to be that way. Not everybody's going to give.
Yeah.
And Spence and Crawford are not going to give on the first opportunity. They're battle tested, war torn, and these guys are veterans and they know how to survive. They have a poker face. These guys are not just going to give you those opportunities to make a highlight on them. And they have that championship pedigree and the pride to do whatever it takes not to lose, not to be embarrassed by this young guy. And they work hard, they train hard, and they've been there and they've made adjustments before. And so that's the thing I wanted to see Boots do. And I'm glad he went 12. I'm glad he went 12.
I'm glad that he went 12. Like, I'm glad now he feels what it feels like to go 12, because I think like that was always, like I said, it's always a question, and it's always different when you finally do it. When you're like, okay, well, I could go 12 in sparring, but when you're going 12 in an actual fight, now you realize what it takes. Like, now you're like, oh crap, like my legs need to be underneath me, not just through 6, but all 12. Possibly train them to go 15 for all I care. And the fact that you have to adjust after 6, your game plan isn't working, then the next 6 you're gonna have to change it. It's, but if you were never put in that position, you don't know what it feels like. So now I'm actually kind of glad that he got it out of his system. I just want to see him against someone that has more of the stylistic fight, like Spencer Crawford, and not someone that is more hesitant to engage.
Right.
Right. I agree with that. I understand now. I can understand now, why you decided to take that IBF eliminator or interim. Yeah, I see why you did that.
Hold on. Are you saying that? What you mean by that?
Let me explain.
I need some clarification. What you trying to say?
Let me explain what I mean by that. Virgil left. Virgil was the Mando in the WBO, was he not? When he beat McKinson, correct? Yes or no?
Yeah. I don't know.
He fought for the mandatory position. He fought McKinson to become the mandatory for the WBO. I was at the fight, remember?
Yeah.
He didn't want it. He didn't want it, right? He didn't want it. He left. He went the WBA route for some ungodly reason. Okay, fine. That means Boots was number 2 at that time.
Yep.
So if you could really, as you say, beat that man up in his living room. Remember you said that. That's what you said, right? Why didn't you say, forget this IBF shit? I can go ahead and fight an eliminator for the WBO because this motherfucker has a mandatory that he has to fulfill in May. And I will be the guy to beat him up in his living room. Why didn't you do that?
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, Uncle Sheldon. There's this guy that's from Omaha that says he's his own boss and that he can that thing float across that Boots' name didn't float across his desk.
And
but he could have made it.
And all that has nothing to do with mandatory, mandatory, bro.
No,
I'm gonna get one shirt that says "There's this guy."
Yeah, there's this guy from Omaha that says that he's his own boss and that but Boots' name didn't come across his desk. Look, he could have made Boots' name come across his desk. So I don't want to hear none of that. Like, you don't have to be a mandatory
because he has a mando.
Hold on. You don't have to be a mandatory to fight somebody. Look, if Bud Crawford feel like Boots is food, then he can make that fight because he ain't tired of nobody. He's a free agent and he's the boss. Like he said, I'm a boss, guys. So if you
hear what I said? What part did you miss about the 18-month mandatory defense of his title? You got to defend the man. Got to.
Hey, there's this guy from Omaha, man, that said
Hey,
he's his own boss. He could
hey,
pick and
man,
choose
I
whoever the
don't
hell he
know,
want to fight right now.
man. I'm just calling a spade, bro. I mean, you could have got that shot if you really wanted that shot. You could have waited a
Man,
couple more months and got that shot if you really
hey, it
wanted.
ain't guaranteed. It ain't guaranteed. Bud Crawford gonna give him that shot, man. He might fight somebody else. You don't know what Bud gonna do.
He might
Look,
fight that dude from is it Dallas or New York or DeSoto or where the fuck is he from?
man, look, he had the opportunity to fight that dude. He went the other route. Hey, he had that opportunity, and this man went and fought another fight. Hey, look, this the thing, man. Look, this the thing, and I love Bud Crawford, man. Let me start off by saying this. He's an awesome fighter. He's an awesome dad. Because I know if you don't say that, you hating on Bud. So he's an awesome dad, a hell of a father to all the kids. You know, Bud, and he does a lot for the Omaha community.
Right.
That's the guy from Omaha, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting him a shirt that says "There's this guy."
Yeah, there's this guy.
there's this champion from Omaha, the WBO.
Ooh.
That super champ, because he could really push Jamel Charlo's hand too if he want to, but I don't want to speak on that. I really don't. But there's this guy that has a lot of options because he's his own boss.
Don't Mel got a boo boo?
Boss.
Last time I checked, Mel got a boo boo, right? You heard yourself?
Yeah. He broke his hand on somebody's head trying to prepare. You know what we do?
He broke a nail, man. Maybe he broke a nail, not his hand.
Nah. It's legit. He broke his hand. Legit.
I'm just fucking around, YB. You know, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's a legit though.
Hey, but going back to Boots though, man, you know, he was getting countered with a lot of those punches, you know, and given the level of Spence and Bud, you know, getting countered like that is very, you know, it can
very
really
detrimental to your health, huh, Nito?
Detrimental to your health, man. You know, it's like having bacon every day.
Bacon every day.
Hey, Bud is special though, man. Shout out to that guy from Omaha. He's a special guy. The guy from Dallas is special too, and I think the guy from Philadelphia is a special fighter.
I think so too. He's just, you know, he just needs to really up his game by being in the level of you know, in that level of the cautiousness is there, but not to the overconfidence. You know, you gotta learn how to go back and forth between confidence and what's the word? And awareness and cautiousness. Because when you're aware and you're cautious, you can learn to counter really fast, you know. But then if you're overconfident, you're just gonna walk like he did.
Oh,
yeah, I think he needs some seasoning. Rach, what you think? I think he needs some seasoning.
Man, hey, look, this fight got him the Tony Chachere's, the you know, sweet what you call it, Bay Rays, whatever you call Old Bay. He got all the seasoning he needs. He got all the seasoning he needs to this fight. Because look, let me tell you something. Uncle Phil, let me tell you something. Styles may fight. Yes, I don't think, and I know for a fact, Spence ain't gonna move like that. And Bud Crawford gonna sit down on them shots. That's what Bud Crawford been doing at 47. Does he have the leg still? Yes. But will he sit down and fight Boots? Yes. So the guys that he wants to fight ain't moving like that. We're gonna see, you know, who's gonna land. I mean, it's gonna be who's gonna land first, and we're gonna see fundamentals on display. And I think Boots can clean a lot of those things up. You know, we saw the dude Boots didn't respect dude's power. He would damn sure be more respectful with Spence and Bud Crawford. That's a fact.
100%.
Well, Slim Creeper Shelton says, if Boots is food, tell your favorite fighter to grab a plate and let's see what it's hitting for.
We getting spicy. Put him up in there. You can put that dude up in there.
Monday morning.
Put him up in there and see what happened to him. I mean, the dude has 30 fights, but he hasn't stepped up to that level. It's a different level.
Look.
Because either one of those guys that we talking about, Spence or Crawford, probably would have stopped that dude because they would have understood how to make him fight, how to cut the ring off and get him to where they wanted to go. He doesn't have the experience fighting Thomas Delorme's and Lipinets type guys to do that. He needs to get that experience.
But Thomas Delorme fought Terrence Crawford too, though. But never mind.
And Thomas Delorme got beat up and knocked out too, didn't he?
He got knocked out by Boots Ennis too, Uncle Sheldon. So what are you talking about? Okay, then. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you start naming guys that Boots and Bud both fought. Hold on. When you start naming guys that they both fought and try to act like they didn't fight that same guy, that's bullshit to me. Keep the same energy.
No, how's it
He fought
bullshit
Thomas
when he
Delorme.
fought the dude 7
Bud
years
Crawford fought Thomas
earlier?
Delorme. So
7 years
let's not stop acting
earlier.
like these dudes are top level. Like the
7
top level
years
guys are the
earlier.
top level guys. Boots, Bud, Spence,
7 years
even
earlier
Virgil
when he was
Thurman.
undefeated, right?
Until you fight those guys, you're not getting seasoned for the top level because those are the top level. Now, when you say, "Oh, they fought Delorme," well, who else fought Delorme? Come on now, stop it.
Delorme prior. Come on, man. You can't stop doing that.
That's what I'm saying. We can't be doing that, man. Like look,
again.
who else is going to be a good test for Boots until he fights those guys? Like let's name them. Who do we want him to fight before he's seasoned for Bud and Spence? Because I'm not going to let that happen. Like Boots is still a top dog, man. Let's stop acting like Boots can't fight because he went 12 with Durant.
Huh? Here's one of the interesting parts. Like I feel like okay, so if I was if I was Spencer Crawford, and I saw how he showed, wouldn't you rather just take that fight now and just say, here, listen, I'm doing my Mando against you, like step up, let's go, and I'm gonna get you out of the way real quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when a fighter doesn't come up to your expectations during the fight, regardless that yes, he did win all the rounds, if you feel like as a fighter that he had a lot of flaws on what he showed on Saturday, wouldn't you just say, hey, let me fight that guy, because then at least I get that Mando out of the way early.
I've been saying that since the beginning. And anybody who knows me knows I've been saying this since the beginning. You better fight that guy now. Don't let that guy get better. Fight him now. Get him out the way. Because you wait a couple years. We're right.
Elton, you're breaking up. Elton?
Uncle Sheldon, you cracked out a
Yeah,
little
don't wait. I've been saying that. I've been saying
do
that.
it now.
Right, so don't wait. Don't wait. You let him get better, and he'll probably beat you. Fight him now. Get him out the way while you can get him.
What do you think, YB?
Fight him now.
I would love to see Spence and Boots. I would love to see Bud and Boots. Like my thing is, I always wanted to see this guy. I want to see Boots and Virgil, but I know it's not going to happen. You get what I mean? And people keep saying Stanionis. Well, Stanionis and Virgil fighting in April because of the appendix removal from Stanionis. So and Butayev is a good fight. I like the Butayev fight. Ugas hasn't really came back yet, so Ugas is a tough fight. Spence might fight Thurman. So it's just a lot of names at the top that we really want to see. And I really think that if Spence fights Thurman, we're probably going to get Boots versus Villa, the guy that just beat Rashidi Ellis. That's what I think.
Weren't we supposed to get like an announcement for Thurman and Spence by now? Like,
yeah.
The B.E.S.T ordered that in November.
Yeah, November.
It's 2 months later and nothing yet. Like, I would.
Well,
think
he said on an interview, Rach, that the car accident pushed everything back. That's what he said.
Oh.
Yeah, he said I'm a little banged up. I got little bumps and little bruises here and there, and yeah. So he said maybe May, maybe June, but I think he just tweeted April. So we might see Spence versus somebody in April. But I don't know, man. I would love to see him in Boots. That would be good.
So 3 months. 3 months.
I would love to see him in Boots.
Back. Smoke, are you going to say anything, or are you going to stay on mute the whole time?
Well, I didn't want to get in between that exchange. I might have caught a stray.
Come on, Smoke. You always in between.
Smokey Smoke.
I'm like Thomas Delorme 7 years ago. Mr. Sheldon's bringing up that argument. At the same time, he loves that Porter stoppage. I don't know. It is what it is. Another day in the boxing panels. Hey, what's up, fam bam? How you guys doing this fine Monday morning?
Fine Monday morning.
Dude, I know you go like live at like 4 a.m. This is not my thing. I literally stay up till 4 a.m. This is opposite my schedule. So I got to figure out somehow to get like super high fee in the morning. I'll figure it out one of these days.
Tell me when to go. It's called
it's called empty nesting. You got to let them little ones grow the hell up, and then you can do what you want at all hours.
Oh man, they just make an excuse, man, because she's a night owl. You know, she doesn't wake up early. You know, so
I don't.
but you can. That's what I'm saying is you can.
I can. I'm gonna have to this week because then you're going to Philly with YB going on vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not vacation. It's work. It's work.
It's work. Thank you, YB. Thank you. It's work.
I feel
exactly.
I feel like you guys' work is a whole lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, work and play. Work and
Well,
play.
and it's YB's birthday this week too.
Oh yeah,
so
happy birthday, YB.
Letting the cat out the bag. You know what I mean? Letting the cat out the bag.
Oh man,
happy birthday. On the way. Do you do birthday month or do you just do the one day?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
I do a whole month.
I do the whole week.
You know, that's how you gotta
God.
do it, right? So many
Yeah, Rachel
people to see.
Rachel do a week. I was exhausted for 5 days.
Month for her, man.
No,
month
he's
for
talking
her.
about Cabo. We didn't finish in Cabo, dude. If
Yeah.
you followed us back to Vegas, there was
Vegas,
still
yeah,
more in
yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah,
Oh, Mark Nash is asking. Maybe you can answer this about the guy in Texas.
Dallas and DeSoto.
Yeah.
I don't even know his injuries, man. I don't know, but I don't know. I know when you get in accidents, man, that shit, you don't feel it. It don't necessarily feel like nothing, but them nicks and bruises, man, you be like, damn, like that whiplash.
Hey, YB, I don't think it's as bad as when he messed his whatchamacallit, his car, when he was driving that car.
No,
What,
I don't
the
believe
other
it.
car?
I believe you can.
Yeah, this one was bulletproof.
Yeah. No, but I'm
Yeah.
saying is like it couldn't be that bad comparing to the other ones.
Well, I'm just
saying.
wondering, I mean, would they have said? I mean, I get it. Like Thurman and him are both under PVC, so it's not like PVC is
He
gonna
says
push.
body aches.
Yeah, body aches.
You need massage.
Yeah, it is body ache probably. I
Why
don't
did
know,
it have
man.
to
And
be massaged like that?
Yeah. I don't know.
I ain't gonna make no excuses, bro. I want Spence to fight ASAP. I wish he was fighting in February.
Well,
Real
that's
talk.
why I'm wondering. Like, I mean, like I know they're both under PVC, so PVC is not going to push WBC to make Spence give a medical letter because they have both fighters, so it wouldn't do any good.
Yeah, for sure. It's not gonna be like that because they can work that deal out, keep it moving. But
I
this
just
the
want to
thing,
know
though.
when it is.
Because this is the thing though, if Ryan and Tank fight in April, that will cause a conflict if Spence is coming back in April because you got to put 2 pay-per-view events in the same month, and we don't see that very often from the same platform in PBC. That's a dangerous thing. So with Spence fight in March or with Spence fight in May?
Yeah, but see, and this is the whole confusion about Tank and Ryan Garcia is like, okay, well, where the hell is it supposed to be aired? Because one fought on PBC yesterday, and then you have Golden Boy with DAZN. So,
Right.
I mean, unless DAZN only has everything across the pond, and then Showtime has US, that's possible. I don't know, but I mean, I haven't seen that it's completely signed in. I had talked to a couple of the journalists. They said that Ryan had gotten to VADA already, but I haven't seen him. Ryan said him and Tank is the 15th, and Tank confirmed in the post-fight press conference. So, okay, so let's just say tax day is off the books for Spence and Thurman then, right? I mean, I highly doubt they're going to put it all together. That would be a fire card, though.
Well,
it would be a fire card.
There's a question here.
Spence and Thurman on Tank and Ryan?
Well, yeah, they basically. I know no one's gonna want to be the opponent, but it would be a fire card.
Well, there's a question here.
Okay,
It's in Filipino, but let me. He's just saying, is there any improvement that Tank can do, or is to improve himself? So this is from Sunny Koza, Boxing Talk. I think that Tank just needs to be ready right off the bat, because he takes him about four rounds to get in the groove, and granted that's his style because he does have the power to knock his opponent out, but an improvement like him, I think maybe a little bit of head movement here and there, but I mean, again, he has 2 hands that he kind of put together to kind of put his defense on, but that's how Tank is. Tank is just one of those guys that relies most on his power rather than his ability to do any other things.
I mean, I think a lot of us would want to see him fight, like, you know, to step on the gas pedal faster. But that's more of a selfish reason than anything.
Right. That's just more selfish reason because that's his tank. He needs to kind of feel how the fight goes and how he
distance, timing,
distance, timing,
power,
and all of that stuff.
everything.
So it's really difficult to say how he can improve in things is because he's been fighting great, you know, regardless if he was behind the scorecard. But the moment that he figures you out, that's when he can really truly land his big punch. So to that, you know, thank you for asking that question.
Shelton, people asked if you can mute yourself when you're not talking because they can hear.
Nah, not people. Mark Nash, my boy Mark. Mark say, hey, bro, you know, it's loud for the people wearing earbuds, but I don't want to speak on it. But let me say this though about Boo Andre. They got this guy from Cuba that trains in Houston, and Boo Boo ain't old according to Nito and Rachel and the science and all that. But let me tell you something. There's this guy out here named David Morrell Jr., named Osvati. And
put his ass in there. YB. Fuck all that.
And I'm gonna tell you what. Boo Boo will get more than what he bargained for. I'm telling you that. I'll put that on wax.
Put his ass in there. Let's see. But it sounds good. But you want to put just like I told people about that Janabek nonsense. If you want to put a 10-11 fighter in there with Boo Boo, be my guest. Go ahead. See what happens.
Hey man, don't Nito and Rachel met Morrell, bro. They know this dude is the real deal.
That's all you got to do.
He's hey.
Sign a contract.
I think that's a good fight. I think that's a good fight though.
Hey.
Morrell's a big dude.
Big dude.
I think that's he's a big dude.
Big dude.
YB is talking that young bull into an ass whooping.
Shit, or whooping. You talking about, he is walking into an ass whooping. Gonna whoop Andrade's ass. The A Andre stand for ass whooping. I'm getting my ass beat.
All right, you guys gotta talk stylistically. Why? Okay, Shelton, YB, you have to say why Morrell's gonna win, and Shelton, you have to defend your fighter technically. Okay.
Okay.
YB,
I'll defend him technically. Go ahead, YB. Go ahead. Why is Morrell gonna win?
Just the angles, the hand speed, the conditioning, the power, the body shots, the combination punching that Morrell puts together. He's not gonna be sitting in no high guard. He's gonna be pressing Morrell, walking Andre down. Morrell's gonna press to the action, walk him down, throw shots here and there. I believe that David Morrell actually has a better jab than Boo Boo. So the things that Boo Boo does from a southpaw standpoint, you put another southpaw in there that is just as fast, just as dynamic and fresher. It has more to prove. I just believe that Boo Boo at this stage in his career is not going to be the guy that's a naturally bigger guy that's even fast as him or faster and just as hungry and just as technical. Boo Boo Morrell is just as technical, had the same type of amateur pedigree. You look at this guy, man, come from the Cuban school of boxing, so he has the footwork to cut off the ring, to put Andre in terrible positions. Andre is still leaning forward, crossing his feet at times. Yeah, man, Morrell is too much for him. Just too much.
I just think experience is gonna play a factor. The fact that Boo Boo is fast, he's still fast, he still moves well, he still got that pop. Boo Boo gonna jump on him early, let him know it's not gonna be as sweet as you think it is. I think over time, this dude's only been 12 rounds one time, and he was getting tired in that fight. Even though he was murdering the dude, he was getting tired. So the experience, the footwork, the speed of Andrade, I think it's gonna be something. He's never been in the ring with anybody like Andrade. He's never been in the ring with anyone that can match him. And I think the experience factor, it was gonna put Boo Boo over the top. But put him in there. You know, we talk all the time. We always talk about this. We want to see that. I want to see it because Plant and Benavidez is in March. So The next fight for Andrade should either be the loser of that fight, because the winner of that fight is probably gonna get Canelo. The loser of that fight, or it should be David Morrell. No excuses. No one else. That's who we should be fighting.
Hey, look, and this is the thing. It's never to knock Boo Boo. He's a great fighter, but this young boy, man, his experience, man, his poise in the ring with Boo Boo. Boo Boo, you can't shoe shine Morrell like that shoe shining he was doing against Demond Nicholson. The slapping punches he was doing against Demond Nicholson, you know, to the last 4 or 5 rounds. And Demond is not on Morrell's level, man. I mean,
by far he's not.
You think you think Morel's going to be able to cut the ring off?
I don't think
A
so.
guy that is well schooled and also that's kind of Boo Boo's real like bread and butter is that lateral movement and getting out. You think Morel's ready for that challenge to beat him to the spot?
You think he could be what? Do you think that the guy with Cuban footwork can get to Boo Boo Andre? Absolutely. Are you serious? I don't even know. I don't even know how to answer that question. To me, that ain't even.
We don't know nothing.
To me, that ain't.
See.
Well, look, I see the kid work. I know that his footwork is crazy.
That. I get it.
I see the kid work. You know what I'm saying? So I personally I see his footwork on display. Like,
but when you in there with somebody who's on your level, sometimes things change. It's good to see the Turkish guy and the other guy and the other guy, but when you get in there with somebody who's on your level, sometimes things are a little bit different.
Now I got a question though, Sheldon. Him moving up in weight, how much of that is a big difference?
To me, Boo Boo looked Saturday like the same Boo Boo. He's never really had that pop that carries. He got that quick burst. He jump on you early, put you on your ass, maybe first, second, third round, and then coast the rest of the fight. He did the same thing against Demond Nicholson. He did the same thing. The same thing we've always seen him do.
The bigger guys have bigger, heavier hands, and
yes, sir.
You see, Andre, he was more cautious.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, given the bigger guys can be more dangerous, will that change his game plan when it comes down to fighting somebody who has a bigger punching power?
Well, the one thing with Andrade, he's going to be defensively responsible and he's going to be cautious because that's the way he fights.
Exactly.
Nothing's really going to change for him. But I do say this. I say the same thing about Andrade that I say with Haney. They say Haney can't punch. They say Andrade ain't really got no pop. Well, I ain't never seen nobody walk him down. So he got something.
But wasn't that a legit knockdown by Demond Nicholson, Mr. Defensively Responsible?
It wasn't a legit knockdown to the body. It sure was. They should have caught him. They should have called it. That ref was horrible. That ref was horrible all night.
Saying,
that ref was just smacking their ass.
The ref was bad.
What are you doing, man?
Y'all act like Boo Boo ain't been dropped multiple times in his career by guys that are not on his level either. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just saying of course, last knockdown he got up. Hold on. Yeah, I know, but hold on. He got Boo Boo has crazy. He does have good defense in the pocket. But you can't tell me that Boo Boo still doesn't lunge in. Boo Boo still doesn't fall over his feet sometimes. And
he still does the same thing. Yeah.
That's a dangerous thing with a guy that has a left uppercut like David Morrell and a right uppercut like David Morrell. And Morrell has great body work. He was hurting. He was hurting Ados with body shots. It wasn't just head. He wasn't just headhunting.
That was a complete performance. I'm not disputing that, YB. That was a complete performance. It was.
And Nonito started it, and everyone was using the word cautious, right? Then that's what I see from Boo Boo. He's like, generally, he's trying to just be out. Even like he'll start throwing a punch, and then he'll like start moving away before the punch lands and all this stuff. He's definitely like it seemed to be more like reticent to like get into firefights. But with the guy he had in front of him on Saturday, he was like front foot and trying to exchange and all that stuff. But I don't expect that he would do that against a guy like Morrell. But yeah, Boo Boo to me like he still looks like he's ice skating to Jazz. I'm very interested I'm interested to see the fight. I would probably pick Morrell, get some change of the guard. But yeah, let's see it.
There you go, Smoke. Smoke know what he's talking about. There you go, get the Smoke. GTS.
I'm just saying, it just seems like the guy. I don't think that he is going to be able to do enough against the young boy. I think he's going to be. I think he'll pick his shots and pick his moments and all that stuff. But I think Morrell's motor is going to be a bit. It's going to be too much, right? I don't see there being a knockout, but I don't see and this is an extreme example, right? Rigo's last fight, right? He's just out. Or like Emmanuel to go with Ryan. Although I do think Morrell has better. He can cut the ring a lot better than Ryan. Has way better feet than Ryan. But I'm just saying, like if
Boo Boo
doesn't want to engage, I don't know that
Boo
Morrell's
Boo's
going to
better
be
than
able
both
to
of
like.
those guys. I don't agree. Boo Boo's better than both of those guys.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about the style of fight. Like I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like if Boo Boo doesn't
Oh
want to
yeah, yeah.
engage, I don't know if
Okay.
Morrell has the feet to actually catch him.
Hey,
Yeah.
Cosmic asked over here, the ring, did Boo Boo did enough to be a star at PBC?
I think he can beat most of those guys.
What do y'all
I think he
think?
beats Plant. I think he beats Benavidez. If Charlo comes up, if he ever decides to move up, I think he beats him. I think
Uh,
Morrell is the challenge for him.
you think
That's what I
can
think.
Andrade be a star? I mean, he'd be a really late bloomer, right?
Yeah, man. I like Boo Boo, man. He does do a lot of different things well. Like his angle wise, he is creative offensively. Boo Boo
one
does a lot
thing,
of things.
one thing I don't like though is sometimes you throw without looking, and he's just like
Yeah.
throwing some wild shit, man. You know what
He,
I'm saying? Like that could be a detriment to somebody who goes right down the middle, with the straight and a
and,
jab, because like Boo Boo does it all the time. I don't know why he does that stuff, man. I mean, he might land it, but the thing is, you might get caught because you're not looking.
he see that's the thing. Like Morrell's used to, you know, he used to sparring like when he was in Cuba as a little kid. He got work with just Erislan de Lauras and them. You know what I'm saying? As a little boy, so those tricky southpaws they don't bother him. You get what I'm saying? Like you have to
Yeah.
get his respect power wise because this dude in the gym. I'm talking about walking down cruiserweights. Morrell is a big, strong kid, and he has great feet. So it's hard to feint him. And like you said, Boo Boo wasn't feinting Demond enough. He wasn't freezing him enough.
Nah.
You got it. And then like you said, when you throwing looping shots, the guy with the straighter shots, Morrell's shots are crisp. They sharp. His uppercuts on the inside are very sharp. Um, so that's why I don't predict a knockout. I think it would be a tough fight for Morrell, but I do believe Morrell wins a pretty decisive decision by activity. I think he's gonna outwork Boo Boo, and I just think that Boo Boo's too smart. Boo Boo's too smart to let him get embarrassed in there and become a highlight reel for Morrell. But I just think Boo Boo, um, he gonna get pushed to the limit in this one against that young boy if they fight.
I want to ask Nonito. Nonito, you ever been in the ring with a guy, and after like the first couple rounds, you already figured out I can do whatever I want to with this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. A few of them.
A few of them. I'm saying, and that plays the part. I was asking you that because that played the part. I believe in what happened Saturday. I think after the first 2-3 rounds, Andre was like, "Man, this guy, I can do whatever I want to with this guy."
Hell
I
yeah,
could.
he's a 14-1 underdog. Shit, he should
Yeah,
be able
yeah,
to do it.
but
He
but
got his
but
ass
that's
up
the
out of there.
thing. But that's the thing that I was trying to explain earlier too, was that he does have control over that, but he didn't use that to take this guy out because he
Right,
should have
right, right.
opened him out. Jab to the body, straight to the body.
Yeah,
Move here, move there, feint here. Open him up because the dude was just waiting for him. He's
right,
just waiting
right,
for him in every aspect of controlling the fight, and
right.
so. I personally think that in his head he probably said I have a little bit of ring rust or whatever it may be, but I thought that he could have taken that guy out if he had approached him with greater control in terms of setting up the punches and setting his opponent up.
Cosmic said he can do everything he wants with him except knock him out.
That's what he's saying about Morrell and Andre. He got Morrell. He know what's up. And Boo Boo's a great fighter, but he knows what's up.
Front Andre, the pressure fighter. I don't know if that's going to get it done at the higher levels, right? Like, yeah, that guy, sure. But even then, you could see that he wasn't really comfortable in that role. So, to me, he spent a lot of time fighting a particular kind of way, and while he does have the ability to fight different kinds of ways, he doesn't seem to be very good at it. That's not his skill set. That's not his strong suit.
Again, for me, he gets he's very what's the word? He's very cautious, right? And at the same time, he crosses his leg a lot because he's very cautious that when he sees something coming, he crosses his leg, and that's how he got dropped with those with the body shot because he was crossing his leg. And so, given a guy who has greater power, and more of a better boxing ability, how will that pose in terms of his performance? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I see him like again. I don't understand why he would look down and throw overhands and all this wild stuff. You know, it's just to me it indicates that he's very cautious and he's afraid to get hit. You know what I'm saying?
Khaled
Wow.
said Boo Boo was singing
Wow.
in the ring while he was fighting. I noticed that? Did you guys notice that? Because I asked Nonito, I go, are they not supposed to be talking? Because we've talked about this before with other fighters that they just love to talk, and sometimes the referee does warn them.
I mean, the referee
They
should be
seem
they tell him stop. You
to
know,
freaking have a back and forth long conversation. For me, when you have that much air in your lungs during a fight, that means you're not working hard enough. You need to work a little bit harder. Like you
Yeah.
shouldn't be talking that damn much. But I don't know. Khaled saying he was singing. I'm dying to know what song he was singing during the fight. I'm not sure if it's true or not.
I saw at one point in the fight Rage where Boo Boo looked up and said, "You can't do nothing." I don't know what
Yeah.
that was about, but I did see
Hey,
that.
hey, he won't be.
I don't
He
go
won't
back
be
and forth.
singing. He won't be singing for Morel unless it's the fat lady singing. Yeah, he ain't gonna be singing against Morel. I'll tell you that.
Those are fighting
Oh,
words.
okay. So Khaled said that Damon was talking crap and Boo Boo was singing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Demond
Yeah,
was
the
talking.
mom was talking crap.
But okay, someone in the chats was talking about the refs. Dude, the refs were horrible on
Yeah, that's what they were
Saturday.
saying. Like the ref in,
Oh, sorry,
in
they-
DC were very lazy.
Oh.
They were lazy as hell.
And they
They
like
would
to
just keep
cop a
smacking. They
feel.
keep smacking
Oh,
them.
yeah,
in the
and
ass.
grabbing,
They like, you know,
grabbing.
they like that somebody said over here. They like big butt because they were smacking their booty all the time.
Yeah, like what does that do? Like it was weird. I don't know. And then they were missing counts. So they missed. I thought it was during the. Was it during the Andrade fight? Where there was an 8 count. Yeah, it was. There was an 8 count, and they sent him onto the wrong corner or something. And then, so basically, like the 10 count ended up being like an 18 count or something crazy. And then, like I said earlier, that whole thing where they started the round and he was talking to Nicholson for 10 seconds in the beginning of the round. So it was just weird. It was, I don't know. These refs on Saturday were strange.
DC slap ass ref.
Oh, I can't wait to ask Morel about
Slap
this Andre
ass.
fight. I can't wait to ask Morel to start pushing the button on that Andre fight. Say, bro, I want Andre. I'm gonna say, man, say you want Andre, bro. I guarantee you. He be like, I want Dimitri. I want Andre. Yeah, tell him you want Andre, bro.
Oh,
Well,
Mark
that's
Nash is
the thing.
asking.
That's kind of the same thing I was saying, like with Boots. Now, I would love the Via fight, right? But now that you've become an interim champ, tell me if I'm wrong, Nonito. You can't go backward now. You got to go forward, correct?
Yeah, there's no going back. You know, they can have a setback, but it's always going forward. You know, that's just how life works. You know, we can't rewind.
Yeah.
They're asking
Yes, I can't see
about
Boo Boo fighting
ahead, go ahead.
anybody but the loser, Rachel, of Plant, Benavidez, or Morel. I can't see him fighting anybody else. Or maybe Charlo if he moves up. That's about it.
I mean, there's a lot of opportunities to fight those guys too. You know, like I think they're at that level where there's that level where there's a couple of them and they need to fight each other. You know,
right.
So I'm gonna play a video for Nonito real quick because Mark Nash is asking if Nonito's ever been slapped in the corner. You never saw this. I don't think we saw it on the telecast. I don't know what, or maybe we were just not paying attention. But here's the video that they're talking about. You see how it's slapping him?
Wait, do that one more time. That's a fast ass slap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh God. Okay. No, I never been slapped like that, man. I'm like, I'll beat the crap out of somebody who slaps me in the damn corner. That's just me, man. I ain't never. No one has ever slapped me. Not even my dad slapped me, man.
Was it the Angel Garcia versus Danny slap?
It was like,
was it one of them? Was it one of them? Like, come on, Danny.
It was
Wake up, Danny.
backhand and everything.
It was like a fish, like if you got a fish and you put his tail in your face and he was like,
pop, 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 pop.
Hey.
Mark said it's actually 6 slaps. Rachel should use slap a fighter 6 times in the corner. I mean, that's
I'm hey, when she does that, I'm gonna be Dana White. I'm gonna slap her back.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Why you slapping me in the corner, fool? Boom! I'm slap you back.
Yeah, I
Man.
didn't understand that. Even when the angel did it to his son, I didn't understand that. Well, what is that gonna do? How is that gonna wake him up?
I don't
Wake
know.
up,
I mean,
Danny.
everybody got their own connection. Like
Yeah,
Trinidad's dad,
exactly.
and
smacked them and all
trigger.
that. They
And
got their own trigger and all that. So
Well, it didn't help him. It didn't help him.
no, it didn't. Maybe he
Still
needed to
got
go a
his
little
ass
bit
whooped.
Back
harder.
around.
Still got his ass whooped. He got his ass whooped even worse.
No safe spaces.
nope.
I-
Yo,
Look,
not the Dana
You're
White.
like, yo, not the Dana White. I'm gonna bring it up. Somebody slap me, I'm gonna slap you back. I'm just playing. No, not the Dana White stuff.
Not the
Hey,
Dana.
did you guys?
Not the
I
Dana.
was taking care of some business earlier. Did you guys talk about Rashidi and how he
Yeah,
shit
I
the
I
bed?
did.
thought
Yeah.
I thought he won the fight though. I thought Rashidi won the fight, Uncle Sheldon. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I had him by a point or two.
Yeah.
Okay,
Still with the knockdowns.
let me ask this because I could be wrong. I've never been one to not admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah, you were
But
wrong,
you
and it
had
was the
a
least
10-8
bum fighter.
round in the 11th, correct? And then a 10-7 round in the 12th. Am I right?
It wasn't a 10-8 round
10-7.
in 11.
It should have been because he was hurt and dancing and running in the
But
11th.
he didn't get dropped. It wasn't a 10-8 round in 11. It was a
You don't think
10-7
so?
round in the 12.
Well, that
No.
depends. That depends
That
on
depends
the
on the
scorecard
judge. That
and
depends on the
who.
judge, YB. Because some
Depends
YB.
on the judge, right? So if somebody overwhelms the round, some judge can take that 10, 9 to 10-8, but you hardly see that nowadays.
You hardly see
Right.
it.
Even
No.
even back in the days when they would score a knockdown, but the guy
Came back.
won the round, right?
Yeah.
And just got dropped, they would call it a 9-9, right? But nowadays they'll automatically put it at 10-8.
Okay, so if they gave him a 10-8, now I don't know because I didn't see the official cards. If they gave him a 10-8 in the 11th and a 10-7 in the 12th, that's 5 points, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to beat that. It's hard to match up to that. If he won a couple more rounds, a couple of those swing rounds, he wins the fight. That's how I saw it.
Yeah, I had Rashidi by a point. At the worst, I felt like it could have been a draw. I really did. I didn't think that
I
boy
wouldn't
won.
have been upset with that. I wouldn't have been upset with the draw.
I would have been upset with a draw. But to have Rashidi lose by 2 points, I didn't see enough work from Villa until the last 4 rounds to see him win that fight. I feel like Rashidi was up pretty handily up until round 9. And
But you know what I said, YB, when that fight, when we were looking at that fight when they announced it and I saw the guy's record. I said, this eerily reminds me of when they put that kid in there with El Rayo. Remember him?
right.
And that dude was 14-1 with 13 knockouts.
So all the judges' official cards had it 10-9 for round 11. Like I said, Uncle
Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. So with that being said, Uncle Sheldon, I don't know how they had my boy up win by 2 rounds. I couldn't see
They
it.
must have gave him some rounds in there, didn't it? They gave him some rounds in the early fight.
The scorecard's up on the screen here. Let me make it.
Yeah, I
bigger.
can't see that. I'm old. I can't see that little right.
Let me just put that on there so that it's full screen.
Okay.
There we go. And
just
then
make it a little bit bigger.
Okay, that's what she said.
Yeah.
She said to make it a little bit bigger.
So obviously they gave that guy some rounds.
Yeah.
They gave him round 5 and 6, which is one of the judges. I can't see that, man. Or round 7.
Here,
I didn't see that.
Make it big.
Okay, I'm making it as big as possible.
Okay.
Oh, nope.
Let's do
Okay,
big.
so let's do
That's what she
round
said.
1 through 6. Okay, so
All
let's
right.
look at round 1
So
through
1
6
through
first.
6. It's all Rashidi, right? All Rashidi.
Right.
Except
for one card, Nito. One card they gave round 6 to Villa.
Yeah, that's by judge.
One of the
I don't know
cards, which
his
I
name.
didn't see. There's
But one
to
of
me
the
there was
judge
no
had
way
it.
you can give. Yeah, to me there was no way you can give him round 6. I didn't see it.
Doesn't say who the judge is.
Yeah,
And
okay, I see it now. Yeah.
And see, if you give Rashidi round 6, like them other 2 judges did, that's a draw. That's a majority draw because you got 2 judges that's going 113. So see, that's the difference between a draw and him losing 114, 112.
Right.
So should we
Because
go
Rashidi
down?
won round 6. If you rewatch that round, he won round 6. I don't give a damn what they talking about.
Yeah, so we're looking at that, right? And
Yeah.
Okay,
So they gave him 4 rounds. One judge gave him 4 rounds.
Here's 8. You had one judge that scored it for Rashidi.
Yeah.
And then
The two judges.
No, wait, 2 judges for Rashidi, 1
Man,
judge.
come on, man. How they get? Come on, man.
Wait, they gave him and yeah.
Come on, man.
Okay, so those on the left. Sorry.
Hey, but it was a
Now
PBC card. Shouldn't
yeah,
Rashidi have
they
gotten
gave it to Vic.
Well, Samson worked with PBC
yeah.
too, though, Uncle Sheldon. They both ain't PBC.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with it. I see where you guys are going with it. I see where you guys are going with it.
Samson worked with PBC, so to me, it was just it wasn't no PBC home cooking. It was just that's what the judges. They must have liked aggression. They must have valued aggression more than
because he was walking Rashidi down. You got to give him that. He was walking down.
The thing too is that depends on the state. Depends on the state and depends on the judges. The way they look at fights is so different. You know what I'm saying? Like they like New York, they love boxers out there. You know, and they'll go for those people instead. And just again, depends on the judge and depends on the state too, because the fights could be so different.
I like Boosie say, come on, man. Come on now, dog. Come on, man. For real. That's how I feel. This bullshit. Hey, should have been a draw or Rashidi up by 1 point. That's how I had it. Maybe 2. But come on, man.
Me too. Two
knockdowns don't win you the fight. Unless you knock the man out, 2 knockdowns to me don't get the job done.
I agree with Mark Nash on this, guys. He said, I'm sorry, Showtime must do better. If I'm to spend $74.99 plus tax on a fight, I should be able to pause, rewind, and rewatch the fight the next day. I completely agree with that. I was actually kind of pissed that I couldn't watch it on 2 of my because I'm technologically retarded. So Nonito has to tell me how to be able to do it. But basically, we had it on our 95-inch screen, and I wanted to put it throughout the house, right? Because I'm not just sitting there most of the time, especially in between rounds or in between fights. Going to the kitchen, you don't want to miss the fight. So I wanted to put it on a bunch of different TVs, but every time I logged into any of the different accounts, the same account, it was saying that it could only stream on one device. And I'm like, listen, if my IP address is the exact same, you should allow me to have it within my own household. And I couldn't rewatch it the next day. And
but know what happened? You know what that means, Rachel? What that means is if you want it on 2 or 3 devices, you have to pay for it 2 or 3 times.
That's BS.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't pay for the internet. I don't pay how many devices I use. It's the same IP.
It's the same house. It's the same house.
Exactly. That's
someone said 95-inch. Damn. Is it 95?
Something like that.
Yeah, he purposely
That's what money
broke
affords you, people. When you got money, you can buy 95-inch screen TV.
Oh, he purposely broke the 75-inch.
I did not purposely break it. No, listen.
It was fine.
This girl, when she watches TV, she leaves it on the whole day. Though it's never turned off, right? It doesn't automatically turn off. This one I put automatic turn off, but the other one, it started there's a big blue line that came in the middle. I'm like, I can't watch that shit anymore because I get distracted, so I end up buying a new TV, but she would never turn off the TV. So yes, that's why it broke and I had to get a new one.
Hey,
I was gonna say to YB, you know what you need to do since you have a problem with this scoring? You need to go on down to Nevada, man, and take that test. What is it, Rach? $750 to test to become a judge?
Yeah.
Take that test.
Look, I thought about that in Texas, man. I said, but you know what? Texas judge is so corrupt. I might get in a fight with one of these fighters. They might beat me up in the locker room because the other 2 judges be throwing the fight because that's all they value down here. The cars be so wide apart in Texas. I'm like, what are y'all watching? So
hey, Texas,
you might be right.
Texas, what's it called? The Texas people.
Texas.
No,
Texas Commission.
The commission.
Yeah.
The commission. They are some type of way, man. They are crazy some type of way.
Oh,
they're strict. They try to be strict as shit.
The big dude. What's his name?
Yeah, I forget his name. But they're like, bro. They try to give me some shit all the time.
They try to give you some shit.
Hey, I heard. I don't know if this is true. I heard you got to be sponsored by Lawrence Cole to be a judge in Texas now.
Oh,
I don't know.
Don't put that out there. Don't put that out there, man. They gonna come get you.
If Lawrence Cole don't agree to me, they can come to judge in Texas. That dude is the worst ref. Have you ever had a fight with him, Nonito? No, Lawrence Cole refereeing one of your fights?
Oh man.
Yes, I think he had before. I think he had before. I don't know where, but yeah.
Am I right or wrong, or is that dude just terrible?
Everybody has their
Triple
own
J.
shit, man. Listen, when it comes down to referee and when they get up there, they gotta be sipping on something, man, or sucking on something. I'm just saying.
That's just terrible. Yeah, that was terrible.
That's just terrible.
Terrible, Kenny, Ernie. Yeah, that's terrible.
I'm just saying, man. Yeah.
Windy City Assassin said Canelo ducked Boo Boo and 54 and 60.
After he fought Laura.
I don't really know if he ducked Boo Boo. I just thought, honestly, because I'm not the biggest Canelo fan. I might be the smallest, actually. But I just think it wasn't nothing in it for him to fight Boo Boo. Wasn't no money. That's what I thought.
Shout out to Rashidi Ellis and Ronald Ellis, the whole team. Keep your head up. Seen them at the hotel. They were visibly shaken up by the loss. They were hurt by that shit.
Oh, you could see in the corner he was.
They were hurt by it at the hotel. I mean, his brother and them were hurt by it, man. Because and I'm not making no excuse for him getting knocked down twice and getting fatigued in the fight. Those body shots from Villa were playing a role by the end of that fight. So
like I said earlier, the advice that I give them or give him, I lost my second fight. You can't go back into what happened. Instead, ask yourself the right question of how can I get better? It shouldn't be close. This guy is nowhere near my level. How did it get that close? So it's not so much as going back and being depressed. I mean, you have all the right to be depressed about something, but you can't be staying in there,
Right.
So I think he should be asking the right question, getting back in there, and how can I get myself better? How can I get myself to the level that I expect myself to be in? Instead of asking the wrong question, I'm saying, man, how did I lose that fight? How did the ref, that has nothing to do with it no more. It's like me asking, like, man, how did I get knocked out? Man, I can't believe this stuff. Man, I'm so depressed. I'm like, I had it worse, bro. So go out there, and create yourself. Don't let the past be, like I said, I said it earlier. Let that be a blessing, not a something that can tear you down. Instead, let that be a blessing to propel yourself higher.
Let it be a lesson.
Yeah, lesson.
A loss is if you don't learn anything. But
That's
if you learn from it and figure out how. Because listen, Ellis is talented and he's fast. I mean, he's called Speedy for a reason. And so he just needs to, to rise to the occasion, figure out, okay, let's get back into gym. Let's see what lessons I can learn from this fight and how to improve.
Hey, that was my second option of my name, by the way.
What?
Speedy.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, because your middle name's
Gonzalez. So I was gonna be Nonito Speedy Gonzalez Donaire. Because my last name, my middle name is Gonzalez for my mom, so I would have been Speedy Gonzalez.
But you're absolutely right, Nonito. Because after you lost that fight to Inoue, I let the 200 go as soon as the fight was over. I wasn't even tripping on it. It's over.
Yeah, if it's lost, it's lost. You can't take it back. You can't rewind time.
Pay the man his money and keep moving.
Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's gonna be. If you're gonna let disadvantage and horrible quote unquote experience in our life, dictate you, then you're always gonna be in the palm of the hands of darkness, in the palm of the hands of negativity. Instead, you take that and use it as a blessing to propel yourself higher. When I lost the second fight, I could have stopped. I could have done this. I could have did that. Or when I lost to whoever, Brigandow or Magdalena or all these other guys, I would have stopped, right? But I didn't. I used that to propel myself to get better. And this fight right here, the last fight for me, I'm gonna propel myself even better to get to where I'm going. It's the result, is the commitment to your goal, not what happens in between. That dictates where you're going. And
I respect the fact that you got in there because you didn't have to take the fight.
Hell no.
The first fight. And
Well,
you went right back in there. I want him again. Now I respect that more than anything.
Okay, so based on that, we have a question in the panel. Do you guys believe that Speedy will win the rematch?
Absolutely. My bad.
100%.
I don't know. Because now you've given this guy, and I could be wrong here again, but I'm going to say this. You've given this guy the one thing that I believe every fighter needs. You're giving this guy confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence and
That's
momentum.
He's confident. Now he says, now
and he know
I'll
he can
walk
hurt
him
you.
down quicker and knock him out faster.
He know he can hurt you. He know, like you said, Uncle Sheldon, he knows that he can hurt you. He knows his punch create a reaction from you. He knows that you can be dropped. So that is something big. But I think Rashidi with the right adjustments and 12 round, having a 12-round fight and knowing what this guy presents and knowing that this guy can hurt him, it's a different level of training. Because I do think they might have overlooked this kid, because you can't be at the press conference, you and Boots, talking about a fight when you got this guy in front of you. I do believe those type of things were Rashidi was looking at what's next. I want Spence. I want Bud next. That's what he was saying. I want.
And I think that played a big role. And I could be wrong, people, but I think that played a big role in him losing that fight too. Not being focusing on other shit.
I do. I believe so. His trainer was telling people that dude is not that good of a fighter. He was like, man, we're gonna walk all over this cat.
Yeah, that's the wrong way to tell you, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with Boots. You know, the way Boots came in there trying to knock somebody out, you know, is because they look past their opponent.
Oh yeah.
Reminded me a little bit of T.O., no?
Oh no.
Going in there trying to knock somebody out, you get clipped.
Hey, but see, this dude wasn't. Hey, this dude. When they talk about guys that don't have no pop, this dude didn't have no pop, because Boots took some shit from him. He threw a couple combinations down the middle.
If he had punching power, that would have been a different fight. You're absolutely right. That would have been a different fight. Yeah,
he threw some shit down the pipeline, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
He caught Boots with
And Boots ate that shit. And Boots ate that shit and just laughed at it. It was talking to the crowd.
Yeah, he ate that shit like you know, like breakfast, like Wheaties. I was like, oh shit. But if it were, you know, but Boots, like I said, it's just like you said, Uncle Sheldon, I don't know if he respected dude enough. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. I mean, you know, sometimes these fighters, man, these young guys, they hear the who is Corinne, bro? Why are you fighting this dude, man? Who the fuck is that guy? You know, so he's like, man, I got to get him out of there, because people don't even think he should be in the ring with me. And then you end up putting a performance on that people think is lackluster, which he won every round of me. So I wanted to see more of, like, you know, the fundamentals of cut off the ring, tighten up a little bit, not over, not throw that lunging left hook like a right hook like Roy Jones, those things like that. But you know,
spin around like the top. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, like maybe he felt like this dude couldn't make him pay. I don't know, Uncle Sheldon, but like you said, it wasn't.
Well, Nolito and Rachel said it earlier, man. They hit the nail right on the head. I think he got caught up in that who's gonna have the better knockout debate.
Yeah.
Well, and he got caught up because they legit sent Rashidi a contract. That's the truth. They did send Rashidi an offer. And Rashidi confirmed that it wasn't enough money. So, you know, at the weigh-in, at the press conference, he did say that. And YSM told me that shit a month ago. And it came out at the press conference.
Yeah, but like they were saying though, like Rachel and Anita was saying earlier when I was taking care of some business, you got to focus on the guy in front of you. Forget the guy's rank. Focus on the guy in front of you. This is the guy you got to fight, not them.
Yeah, man. That's the thing. Now it's you know, the talking and it's all about the money, you know, in the mind of these fighters and stuff like that, you know. And it's, you know, it's an unfortunate thing, but when you're looking at it that way, you know, you take away a lot of the focus in the fight. You know, you got to be 100% when it comes down to somebody in front of you, man.
Hey, Nito, I would like to say shout out to my boy Tim Stoudemire in the chat. He was at the fight. He saw me. He said, "What's up, champ?" Shout out to you, man. Shout out to my boy Tim, man. He was at the fight supporting his main guy Tank and Boots. So shout out to my boy Tim Stoudemire, man. Just thought I'd say that because he was a real one. He was cool. Shout out to my boy.
You didn't see Sento YB? He was there by himself.
Nah, I didn't see Sento's, man. I was actually there with Nate Johnson, though. The one that be coming on. The one and Barbara. They were cool people, man. They were great people, bro. Okay. Yeah, they be coming on every now and again. Like Nate, you know, Nate always coming on talking crazy about Boots. So So he was,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
man,
yeah,
he was in my
yeah.
ear about that. Oh yeah, what's up with your boy Boots now? See, Spencer murdered him. You know what I'm saying? They was going crazy, bro. I was like,
Hey guys, we're gonna end this. I got a bunch of stuff to edit. Nonito still has to pack for Philly. YB still has to pack for Philly. So Smoke, I don't know if you want to give any closing.
Meek Mill or
Meek
Gary
Mill,
Russell.
Gary Russell. Oh, you want to close it with that? Okay, Meek Mill or Gary Russell? Gary Russell, stop.
Gary Russell.
You
Gary
see Meek
Russell.
Mill
Gary
box?
Russell is
Gary
cute.
Russell.
Hey,
I don't want. Look, this is the thing. These rappers need to stick to rapping what they rap.
Rapping.
Yeah, leave these boxers alone. You know what I'm saying? But Gary Russell and them, I think they be coming in and start trouble. You know, they don't really care for Tank. You know, and they, Antoine and them, they cool with Boots, but I don't think they really, it's just
but
they want to
but
make a
they just
scene.
talking. They can say what they want, right?
I mean, it's a I mean,
Why is
it's
Meek
a
Mill?
sports
What's
event.
his job to
Yeah,
defend
it's a
everybody?
sports event. Everybody gonna talk shit.
Yeah, why is it Meek Mill's job to defend everyone? He's the great defender now.
With his
Get your
30%
ass whooped. That's what's gonna happen to you.
Yeah, and you. This is the DC area. Hey, Rachel. Before you go though, I want to say Tank is a bad man. Tank
Yeah,
is a
he is.
bad
Yeah,
man.
he got another gear, bro. Tank
He
got another
does.
gear. I
He
don't know
does.
if Ryan, I don't know if Ryan can match it. He got another gear.
He's a bad man.
Don't find yourself
The
in a
thing about
pocket trading
Tank.
with Tank Davis.
Huh?
Don't find yourself in the pocket trading with Tank Davis. Probably not a good idea to run at Tank Davis either.
It's not a good idea to get in there with that little motherfucker, man. He just different. I'm gonna start calling him Tank Dynamite Davis. That's what his name should be, Dynamite. Yeah.
Hey, you guys, thanks for having us. Always a great stream. But you know the fight I want, right? You know what I want for Tank?
What?
I want to see him in there with Regis. I want to see him in there with Matthias. That's what I want.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to talk about Regis in a bit. Well, I'm going to do some content about Regis and Tio because there's some weird, interesting Twitter stuff that went on. I'm going to talk about that on a pre-recorded. But do you guys want to Smoke? Do you want to drop your channel?
Oh, yeah, get the Smoke. Check it out. Everybody over there.
Man.
Always a pleasure, guys. Have a great one.
Hey, you never know. You never know what high school they might find. You never. Hey, Smoke might dig up something. Hey, he might have the internet buzz.
Go get the feed into people's personal business.
Hey, you know what? The one thing I have to say about what me and Smoke found is none of it were lies. They weren't fake news. It wasn't something we made up. There was no, smoke and mirrors. What we found was factual, and I mean, whatever you guys feel from that, is what you guys is your
Dynamite.
Yeah, we like the controversy, right? But it's kind of interesting. I think in the lead into what the TO and then Prograde thing is all about too. I can't wait to see the video.
Thank you. Thanks, Smoke.
Yeah, appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys.
Hey, have a great vacation, you too, Nonito and YB, Rach. I'll holler at you later. See you guys on the next one.
Hey, Shelton, you could come up with me at 9:00 tomorrow because I'm gonna be by my. Wait, I don't know if he's gonna be here, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I'll be flying out.
Oh yeah, see, so I'm gonna be by myself at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
9 a.m. tomorrow. I'll be there. I ain't got nothing to do. I'll be there. All right,
Thanks,
you guys.
Shelton.
All right, brother.
YB. Go ahead and say your stuff.
Billionaire Boxing TV. The name changed, but the goal remains the same. Talk about boxing.
Right.
But let me clear this up real quick. Bud Crawford is a great fighter. He's a great dad. He does a lot for the city of Omaha. For the people that think I'm biased, shout out to Bud Crawford too. Shout out to Bud Light and the rest of the team. Shout out to my boy Bernie, everybody else, Coach Red, and shout out to Spence, Boots, Tank, everybody that was on the card. Man, to me it was a great atmosphere. Shout out to the King Nonito. Shout out to the Queen Rachel. And yeah, just keep doing what y'all doing. I love the content. And don't go too hard on T.O. With this Regis situation. And yeah, Rach, I just need you to say, Tank is a bad man.
Dynamite. No, I appreciate you guys again, man.
Thanks, YB.
Thanks, YB. And all the people in the panel, man. Thank you guys. And Remy, thanks for the love, man, making us dance and all that stuff, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Everybody, thank you again.
So we gotta answer the question.
What's that?
Did Tank Davis, Boots Ennis, Rashidi, Ellis, and Boo Boo Andre deliver? I believe that they delivered an excellent card. I think we were sold, or we had our perception, and I'm saying we as a general population, right? Had the perception that this was a one-sided card. And it didn't end up being a one-sided card, which makes it like fun of those twists and turns of stories. So I think that, you know, these guys, everybody always has stuff to learn. And so I feel like every single one of them has lessons to learn. I don't think just because you lost that you or that just because you won, you don't have learning lessons. There are things that you still can work on.
I mean, I think losing is the biggest learning lessons that life can give you. So you gotta appreciate that, regardless of how tough of a pill to swallow. You know, you just got to learn it and know.
No, I disagree. I mean, yes, of course, losing is going to give you a lesson, but winning, if you don't feel like there's nothing you could learn from a win,
yes, you ain't going
then
to grow.
You're going to be complacent as hell.
Yes, 100%.
So I think even as you win, you still need to go back and look at, well, what did he catch me with? What was my flaws in this fight that someone else is watching that they feel like they can expose? So don't ever feel like there's a situation that you can't learn, because learning makes you grow, and you want to continuously grow in this sport. I think that this was an amazing card because of, I'm going to say, controversy of the fact that we believed that they were all supposed to just get swept. Some of them didn't. Some of them did. Some of them got hit. And I think it made for an exciting night. So I believe the A team did deliver. And I think the B team stepped up to make it hard for the A team. And that made it for a great night for boxing. I was okay to stay up that late, which we don't usually stay up that late to watch, boxing.
It wasn't that late. It wasn't 1 o'clock. It wasn't 1 o'clock. No, but on that side,
But it started at 6 p.m. for us, and it finished at 11. Can you imagine if we were there?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, oh, someone go get me an espresso. But anyways, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for coming out. There's gonna be more content coming in. We'll be recording some stuff that she's gonna be talking about, some stuff that I'm gonna be talking about that I'm very, very passionate about. And again, those advice that I give to other people, man, you can also take those advice into your own life in creating and accepting the fact that time cannot be reversed, and things that already happened cannot be undone. Therefore, accept and own up to it and learn the lesson, and that's how you get through life in a different light. So appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great, wonderful Monday, and keep creating.
Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button, because we're going to try to keep going live at 9 a.m. since the kids are not here playing drums and DJing. And so, yeah, and we'll keep you guys updated. Until then, be safe.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
I'm Jarrell. And I am Logan. Thank you for watching this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe the video. And hit the bell. Ding, ding, ding. KO! Jinx. Got ya.
Benito the Nail.